We are live. Hey, you guys. I see a ton of you guys already in here. I
Hey
see.
everybody.
Yeah, I got my girl Keish on the line. Happy Friday, you guys. And also, we just finished off sweeps month. I don't know. I got to give my final grade on February sweeps. I meant to ask you, Keish, did you get a chance? Because I know sometimes you kind of zone out on Young and the Restless.
Mhm.
So, were you able to check out Young and the Restless for this week?
I powered through it as much as I could. And I still don't even know what I watched.
Oh man, girl, it's like this never ending. They keep adding stuff onto this thing because,
Yeah.
and I'm sorry I didn't get back to you yesterday because I got on phone calls and stuff. I saw your message in the group chat about this whole thing with Victor, and that was basically my speculation. Is he possibly
Oh, okay.
working, with Victor to scare Billy into giving Chancellor back? You know what I mean?
Oh, okay. Got you.
So that's
Yeah.
what that was just me speculating that part. But yeah, I did see when I watched yesterday, the Friday episode, that promo piece. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah, I saw that. I, yeah. I
okay. Yeah, we,
just don't
we'll
understand.
just
I
get through
just
it, girl.
don't.
I know you're not. All right, so welcome you guys to Soap Corner Talk, where it's going to be me, T, and I got my girl Keish on the line, and we're
Hey,
going to be
hey.
doing The Young and the Restless, Bold and the Beautiful, Beyond the Gates for the week of February 23rd through the 27th. We are not only finishing up the month of February, headed into March. March 2nd is the next televised show, but we're also finishing up February sweeps. So I don't know what you guys thought about it, but I got my own little grading scale when it comes to, what I thought about the sweeps month for all three shows. So,
Oh, I know you about to tear them to
oh,
shreds.
girl, oh my God, girl, we gonna get into that. And also, after we do our recaps for the three shows, we have segments: Flip the Script, Who Taken Several Seats, Star of the Week, Pickle of the Week, Simp Olympics, and Lily Winters Award. So we got quite, I guess, a little bit to wrap up sweeps month. We had this whole thing with whatever you want to say leftover residual effects of this AI takeover. And then now Matt Clark is back. And then we got the pill popping storyline beginning with Nick Newman. And everybody dogpile on Billy and Phyllis all week. And, it was just one thing after the other. Um, we did also, I don't think, because Claire and that whole thing, was that this week or last week? I think that
I don't
was,
remember seeing Claire this week.
yeah, so that must have been last week when her and Holden was in LA when all this mess was going on in General City. So, yeah, I guess that was the week of the 16th. Okay. All right. So, without any further ado, hey, Miss Sawana. Hey, Cynthia, Melissa Spencer, Aisha Jackson, Vicky Langer. Hey, Jasmine. Who else we got in here? Miss V Young. I'm trying to make sure I don't want to skip over nobody. Cynthia Chain, Sharon Rizzo, Mary Gracie, Jacqueline McCullough, Tommy, my guy Tommy Smith in the building. He was one of the first persons in the building. Sawana, it was Bree's son that had the surgery.
Mhm.
And she, of course, she did tell you guys that she would not be on the call tonight. She'll be back next week. But we did hear from her, and he's doing okay. And she's pretty much making sure that her son is good after having this, because the surgery I think was Monday, right? I think it was Monday or
I think
Tuesday.
so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So right now he's in a lot of recovery, in a recovery aspect of his surgery. So yep.
Yeah.
But she's been checking in periodically. Normally, Bree keep the group chat jumping because she always got something to say about the soaps, especially when she watched The Young and the Restless the day before. But because of everything been going on, we've been hearing from her very sporadically, and that's to be expected because of
Yeah.
her son's surgery and then helping him to recover. So, yep. I'll tell her you guys asked about her too, and send her well wishes and everything. Okay, girl, you ready to get into this? I guess you are, cause I know it's a struggle for you when it comes to Y&R.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, well, I
This
will
has
try
been
to get
bad.
through it as much as possible. Okay, so I did a couple of standalone videos, you guys. I did one in regards to obviously the whole thing with Victor and Jack and this whole thing going on next week. And then I did a standalone video about this whole Kittyland event going on over on the Bold and the Beautiful between, Electra and all them folks. So hopefully you enjoyed those standalones. I kind of want to get into specific storylines instead of everyday recaps. So things that stick out, you'll start to see videos like that. And last weekend I even did spoiler videos, which I haven't did in a long time, but I did some spoiler videos for this upcoming week. So I'm going to try to see if I can get a couple more out for the week of March 2nd through the 6th and talk about what's going on with next week. So, you guys stay tuned for that as well. Also, if you are a like Love is Blind fan and like reality, dating and marriage shows, I do have my other channel, which is Romance Review TV. I've had that channel since 2020, and I got a lot of Love is Blind content over there. And I do recaps of like 1 through 6, 7 through 9, 10 and 11, but I also do the outside stuff. So like the exposés and all of the people coming out the woodworks talking, and you'll see some of that stuff over there too. And I think a couple of you guys did come over there, and I appreciate the support. So continue to. I like seeing you guys on both sides of both the soap world and the reality TV world. So, all right, where we want to start, girl? Because I mean, we got the AI situation, Devon and Abby. That kind of toned down. We did have one event this week where Abby. Let's just start with that one. I think that
Okay.
was this week, right? When Abby and the little boy ran into. Or was that last week too?
Oh no, that was last week because I didn't see. I don't. I
Gosh,
didn't see Abby this, or I did see Abby this week, but
it
that
wasn't.
was
That
it was
was
in
last
relation
week.
to Lily.
Okay, all right.
Because what wasn't it this week when Devon and Nate told her that they were looking into something regarding Lily, and that was all it was. It wasn't anything other than that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. And like somebody just said in the chat, Paris said, was that Paris? Yeah. We didn't get a Devon Nate Victor follow up. They just dropped that yet. What was that, yesterday or Wednesday?
I think it was yesterday when they approached Victor, confronted Victor.
Right. And then they just left us hanging where Victor was looking crazy at them and we got nothing. And I did see the Monday episode up into almost the end, and there was no Victor Nate Devon
So
conversation over there either. So I
I'm
don't
still.
know. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I'm still confused about why um, Kane didn't go to the police. I know I've asked you guys this question a million times,
Mm-hmm.
and I ask it because I'm not consistent in watching or like paying complete attention. So I'm like, did I miss something? But why? Why are the police not involved?
Girl, that's what I'm saying. It doesn't make sense how they wrote that. I mean, when Victor originally threatened, and I think I kind of talked about that because I did a standalone video about Kane about
Mm-hmm.
2 maybe 3 weeks ago, and I didn't understand a lot of that but obviously it's written that way because it continues the storyline to drag, right? But it, like you
Yeah.
said, it would make sense to say, hey, go to the police or go to her brother. It took 2, 3 weeks of this storyline for actually Devon to come to him. I'm like,
Yeah. It did.
Devon is Victor Newman's son in law. So why wouldn't you go and say, "Hey, dude, your father-in-law just claimed that he held Lily and my kids hostage." So
Right.
it's just crappy writing to me when it comes to. And I know some people be like, "Oh my God, you always complain about the soaps." Listen, I have good things to say when I see good things, right? On
Mm-hmm.
any of the three shows. But in this particular situation, there's a lot of nonsensical,
Yes.
unrealistic movements. Even with this whole thing with Electra and that letter, which we'll talk about when we get to Bowl, none of that is
Mm-hmm.
realistic. Even that phone call that happened today.
Yeah.
And I'll break
So
down
they
my
don't
theory on
even.
that. Go ahead.
So they're not even like they haven't even acknowledged anything about the police. They're just completely
No,
avoiding even speaking about why he
n-
didn't call the police. Okay.
nobody's talking about the police in this situation. The only time we hear about police is when it comes to Matt Clark.
Interesting.
Because it, to
Which I had
me,
questions about that one too.
it's kidnapping. Victor Newman, that's a crime.
All
If
right.
you tell me if you don't give me my company back, I'm gonna hold your family hostage. And then when Kane loses the company because Phyllis decided to bamboozle him, why shouldn't you go to the cops now? Because now he's just using
Exactly.
you,
Exactly.
and you would rather go do Victor's bidding to get the family back versus saying, you know what, I ain't got to be doing all this. I'm finna go to the police. This man, I don't own his company anymore. I'm going to go to the cops and say, listen, you going to have to do something about this man because now he's asking me for something I no longer have, but he is holding my family hostage. He kidnapped them and he admitted to it.
Yeah. I, yeah. It just. I don't even. I can't even begin to understand
Hmm.
why they thought this was going to be a good storyline.
I don't
And,
even know.
and it drives me nuts when they just ignore the obvious.
Right.
Like ignoring, not having anybody mention anything about the police
Hmm.
doesn't mean that we're not going to continue to ask why is nobody calling the police, which is the most obvious and logical thing to do in this situation.
Right, and then you got all like Phyllis said, was that in today's? Because when I'm a day ahead, I got to think, was it yesterday or today? Um, when Phyllis said about her own son that it seemed like he's brainwashed by the Newman propaganda,
Mm-hmm.
they're finding out that Lily is kidnapped. But you take the side of Victor and get mad at Kane. That's the other part. That's a crime. They're telling you y'all mad at Phyllis, Billy, and Kane, but people are finding out that Victor's so-called Daniel and Devon and all them are finding out that Victor is so-called kidnapping Lily. But instead of saying, okay, that's wrong, he's gone too far. I mean, I understand he's mad. You guys has his business.
Yeah.
Takeovers happen all the time. I watch documentaries that of different major companies and families over the past 200 years that was all about hostile takeovers. So it happens.
Mm-hmm.
That's why it's called an acquisition, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so, because you're acquiring somebody's company, either you buying them out or, something happened and you were able to get the information signed over to yourself, whatever the situation is. But it seems like everybody is so Team Newman, no matter what the Newmans have done to them, no matter how bad they get treated by them. It's like Kane and Billy is bad, or Kane and Phyllis and Billy is bad. And it's like, okay, but Victor was about to steal Jack's company. He already took Arabesque.
Mm-hmm.
And now you're talking about kidnapping and nobody's holding them accountable. It's like it's just your fault because you're on the end of this and you took their company.
Yeah.
That's what get on my nerves about this. I and it was kind of refreshing to see um well, she kind of threw me a little bit at later as she kept talking. Um what's that girl named Lauren?
Lauren.
Because I'm like, okay, Phyllis needs somebody. You know what I mean? And somebody got to see this like, hey, this is business.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of I hate you because you got a company that's not yours. Well, it is technically hers. But anyway, I know I'm rambling.
Yeah.
What you got in here, girl? Anything
Okay.
else on that?
Um, I just noticed Paris's comment in the chat, and she said if this doesn't make the Winters family basically walk away from Victor, then they're just going to keep being perceived as weak.
Oh, absolutely. Because here's the thing. Um, just say Lily is a part of this plan.
Mm-hmm.
And Victor promised her something. So say, somehow, because remember there's a preview next week where Phyllis is being told by Kane, I got something that you won't refuse. So just say, we don't know where that's going, but just say she says, okay, I'll take what you're offering, whether that's another company or whatever, and give Newman back. And Billy freaks out and say, okay, I don't want to lose Jack to Victor's kidnapping. I'll give Chancellor back, right? Which
Mm-hmm.
means Lily is free, but what is this? What did he promise Lily, right? If
Right.
if Lily is
Excuse me.
promised Chancellor, right? Devon and Nate should be highly upset about that because remember we heard them complaining about Lily just dropping off the grid, her work is piling up, all this type of stuff. And if they
Mm-hmm.
find out that she's playing them too to get a job over there, they should be highly upset over that. It's like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
You freaked us out thinking that you were kidnapped when you were playing along with the Newmans for a job
And involved her kids in it.
and involve my niece and nephew. Kane should be. If Kane ain't mad about all of this when this come out, then he's the simpiest simp ever. I mean, seriously, you took my kids and y'all played missing just so I can get the company back, or in this case, help get the company back from Phyllis at this point. Only to say, psych, we were playing you and we were never kidnapped in the first place. We wanted just to do this to scare you into giving the company back.
Yeah.
And if you like, oh, well, okay, I shouldn't have had the first. I'm like, dude, bye. I'm so. It used to be like, okay, I was excited about the storyline. Lately, watching Kane, I can't stand to see this man. I'm serious.
I know you and Bree been ranting about Kane for like the last 2 or 3 weeks.
Girl, every time, I mean, and Phyllis is consistently telling him he's bluffing. He will not hurt Neil Winter's children. Oh, I don't want to take that chance. I'm like, do y'all think this man is a murderer? Do y'all actually think he's an unaliver? Now, I've seen him do manipulative things, put people in a prison cell like he tried to do with Jordan. But do you actually think that he would unalive or do anything physical harm to them kids and to Lily Winter's daughter? I mean, to Neil Winter's daughter.
Which is exactly why Kane should have just went to the police
Exactly.
and got the police involved.
Exactly. Aisha said they're on vacation for free. Yeah, I'm sick of Kane too, Jenna. I'm just at this point like this was a waste of Billy Flynn's time, and he's a great
Yeah,
actor.
yeah. I mean, they can definitely turn it around at some point. That I feel like every character goes through a storyline or two, or 3 where it's just like, this is stupid. But I don't know. I think after this storyline is done, they 1000% can turn it around for Kane. I mean, he's not. To me, this hasn't like destroyed the character or anything like that. It's
You don't
just
think so?
no. If the amount of things that they've done to Phyllis and her character hasn't been destroyed, or Summer or Jack or Diane, and they've been able to come back in a million different times. This hadn't destroyed his character. This is just a stupid storyline right now.
So, okay, let's talk about Phyllis right quick because there are a lot of people figured that, from the conversations I've seen in the chat and, that the Phyllis character has just pretty much been floating through time, that they pretty much destroyed her up until this point that they finally gave her something to do. But
Mm-hmm.
with her losing, to me, I enjoyed her when she was running the Grand Phoenix. It was
Mm-hmm.
hers. She owned a hotel. She had a legitimate business. But when they took off the grid to sell her hotel just to go to work over at Jabot to terrorize Diane, and then she
Mm-hmm.
turned around and she faked the death with the Jeremy Stark situation, and then had to beg for forgiveness. This has been a long string of downfall since
Mm-hmm.
2022 for her.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So
It's
I see
definitely been.
what. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was just gonna say it's definitely been a very extended period of time for Phyllis, but I don't feel like I've never felt like her character was destroyed. They just been putting her and giving her stupid storylines, like terrible writing for
Mm-hmm.
the last 4, 5 years, however long it's been. But I don't feel like her character has been destroyed. It's just like it's just kind of like, what the heck are they doing with her? Like, why all of a sudden is it so difficult for them to write Phyllis a good storyline?
Yeah, I don't know. They want her to be this. I guess the restless in the part of the young and the restless.
Mm-hmm.
She's always scheming and always with these plans that never pan out, or I'm gonna win and then it blows up in her face, and it's just never something that. And I mean, what did she won an Emmy? I do know Michelle Stafford did win an Emmy. What was that, in 23 or 24?
I thought she didn't she win last
Was it
year?
last
I
year?
thought
Hey
I can't
Gail,
remember.
I don't remember, but I know it's been in the past 3 years, but I'm trying to figure out for which storyline that was for. Was it for the Jeremy Stark storyline? I'm not sure.
Mm,
I don't know.
yeah, I can't remember either.
But it just seemed like a long string of events where they can never get her stable.
Yeah.
The last time I seen Phyllis stable, having a job and stuff like that, was when she owned the Grand Phoenix.
Yep.
You know,
Yeah.
um, and Sally is that other character, which I got a lot to say about her too because she get on my nerves.
Oh.
Yeah, because yeah. Anyway. Oh, she won it in 2023. Okay, thanks, Jenna.
Mm.
Hey, TA, what's going on? Hey, Nadia. Welcome in. Welcome in. We just talking about why in our business right now. What do you think about what's going on with Nicholas and that whole pill popping storyline? Do you think that's going to turn into something interesting, especially with Matt Clark coming back and
Mm. I'm still hoping that Noah's girlfriend is the one that helps him through this
who,
addiction
Sienna?
that he's, yeah.
Uh huh.
But and I'm only, excuse me, basing this on a comment she made to Tessa, when she first saw Tessa, when she came to Genoa City, and she said something about how she something about one of the guys that she used to date, I guess back when her and Tessa knew each other,
Mm
was on drugs or something like that. And I think she said, didn't she say something like she helped them through it, or she stopped messing with the individual because of their addiction,
Mm-hmm.
or they got over the addiction or something like that. And the minute that this whole accident happened and it looked like Nick was possibly going to be addicted,
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, it would be a great storyline if Sienna was the one that helps him through it, and him and Sienna end up getting close and having like a little one night stand or something like that. Because I need this Sienna Noah relationship to end.
I agree with you. That this is I don't even know why they came up with that. I could see Sienna and Nicholas. I could see that. I really could. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, Noah just I don't know. I had a who was that when Bree and I did a a live a couple weeks ago on one of my collages. I had them all in the same row. Michael, Kane, Noah, and Holden.
Oh
All
yeah, that was
remember that
yeah, that was a couple of weeks ago.
yeah, it was a couple weeks ago because all of them, it's just like, come on, y'all. Y'all
I
cannot
do.
be. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say I do though. I do think that Josh Morrow is going to give an amazing performance with this addiction storyline.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. This hot and cold, because when he's not on the meds or the meds have worn off, he's just
Mm-hmm.
chaotic. He's all over the place. He's screaming, tossing things around. And then the moment he take that appeal, he thinks so rationally and so clear. Victoria, I don't think it's a good idea. I don't want to pit Phyllis against her daughter. So I think you need to. I mean, he just go from one extreme to the other, and of course, is raising eyebrows in the family, which we'll see a little bit more of that on the Monday episode too.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's talk. Let's talk Sally, because here's my thing with Sally, and I've been saying this for probably the last couple months. This
Mm-hmm.
going all the way back to Nice, and Billy does bring this up on their little dinner next week on Monday. But going back to Nice, one of the things that they made a pact about, which he wrote down on that napkin, is that if I get Chancellor, you get to have Abbott Communications. I
Mm-hmm.
honestly don't think she believed he would ever get Chancellor, so she agreed to it. Because in her mind, she like, yeah, okay, I'm gonna take that deal because he's never gonna get his hands on Chancellor. And so she was fine in making him a junior CEO or whatever it was the position was. And she was fine having to pretty much call the shots, control the situation. She was able to go get that money from Jill to fund the business, and everything was going to go through her. The moment Billy got the opportunity to get Chancellor, now you want to demonize him for wanting some of the same goals that you have. And then he give you on a silver platter Newman Media. You merge it and change the name, but you pretty much are still pissed off at him for going after it in the first place. So when we saw that conversation with Chelsea, Chelsea called her out and was like, "Hey, how you mad at Billy for doing this? Yet you're okay with taking Newman Media and merging it into your company." Now she can make up that excuse about, well, it's their call and I'm doing what the stakeholders wanted me to do and all that. But she was more than happy to get on that phone and make an announcement and change her name. What do you think about that, Keish? Do you see her being a little hypocritical, or do you agree with how she's moving?
I mean, it's definitely hypocritical because you can't be upset with him and bothered by the way that he acquired it,
Right.
but then you're like, and break up with him, because didn't she
Right.
break up with him over this?
Yes.
And then be like, but I'm gonna run it anyway. And it's
Exactly.
like, well, then you couldn't be that mad about it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's almost as if she was looking for a reason to break up with Billy.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't understand. I guess yeah, I don't understand how you can be that upset with him to the point that you end your relationship, but you still accept the company, which is the reason why you guys broke up.
Exactly. And then I'm sitting up there, I was hoping, and see, this is why, and I gotta say it, I don't mean to pit the show against another show. However, I do like to see the snapbacks and the call outs. And
Mm-hmm.
so when she dropped that on Audra, because Audra also, remember the week of the 16th, Audra was jumping up in Billy's face. How dare you let somebody like her go? And he was like, she broke up with me. The girl
Mm-hmm.
lied to your face.
Yeah, I saw that scene, and I guess it seems to me like they weren't really making that an issue.
Mm-hmm.
Like they weren't really focusing on that detail of it was really her that broke it off. It was more like a technicality kind of thing
Right.
because it didn't
Mm-hmm.
really seem to like Audra didn't really she didn't really say anything after that. It was just kind of like, oh, because Sally was like, well, yeah, technically I did, but blah blah blah, and it was just like they moved past it.
Right. They just breathed. She allowed that to be just swept up under the rug. However, if you hindsight 2020, somebody telling you this story like, hey, I can't stand him, I think he's obsessed, he did this and he did that, and then you find out you on the other end of the table listening to this story
Mm-hmm.
that the same man didn't want to break up with you. He wanted to run two consecutive companies side by side with you and handed you the third company on a silver platter on Valentine's Day, and then you gonna be sitting up there across the table mad with her. I'll be like, girl, what you talking about?
Well, even in today's episode, she was bothered um that Sally was gonna go have dinner with him.
Exactly. And I'm thinking to myself, like, you would have none of this if it wasn't for him and his mother.
Right.
You know, it's not like you went out here and build this company brick by brick yourself. You got this because, first of all, Billy wanted to build it with you. He got another opportunity of another company to run side by side with you because she keep claiming that he chose Chancellor over her. No, it wasn't. You walked away because you didn't want to be in the same, you didn't want to work with him as he worked on Chancellor. He didn't pick anything. You walked away from it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So, yeah, that whole thing. I was like, girl, if you don't go sit down and shut up. Because if
I'm.
I was, go ahead.
I was just gonna say I'm completely over the business storylines on
Storylines,
this
yeah.
show. Like
Yeah.
it's just too convoluted,
Yeah, it's all
and
over the place.
yeah.
I, I don't know. I watch a lot of Netflix, different things, and you do too. I know you do too as well. And they
Mm-hmm.
play it all the way through where a company has been taken over and now we're done, we're moving on, and you maneuver through it. We haven't even got past the preliminaries yet. They're still fighting over trying to get it back. And it's like, how about you let the Newmans sit this one out this time? Let them feel it a little bit longer. But I
You
don't
know
think
that
they're
ain't
going
gonna
to do
happen.
that.
Mm-mm.
Uh-uh.
This will be done and over with in a matter of. This ain't even gonna last a couple months.
Yeah, it'll probably. You think they're going to stretch this out to May sweeps?
No,
No, you think they'll have
I
it
don't even
back
think they'll
within a.
make it that far.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. Because then here's the thing. Just say the Newmans get their company back.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to want Chancellor and Newman Media back. How do they get that back? Now, I mean, they could scare them out of the company. I hope Billy don't fall for it because I truly, and I did see a couple comments in the chat saying, "Oh, I do think maybe Victor has kidnapped Jack." I don't, I can't unless he got some hired bodyguards to come get him. But Only for if he don't turn over Chancellor back to the Newmans by the end of the day. How many people you gonna kidnap?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't. I mean, I don't think Victor physically kidnapped Jack himself. He 1000% hired somebody to do it.
Girl, to me, I wouldn't be a bit surprised that. I mean, I could be wrong. This could be a legit thing that Victor have done something to Jack. I guess we'll see as the week of March 2nd continues. But it's just something about that is like, I wouldn't be a bit surprised he's doing that to help Nikki get Chancellor too. Because he's not happy that Billy has that company. Jack is.
Jack.
Right. That's one thing that him and Victor and Nikki has in common is that they're not happy about the fact that Billy has Chancellor.
Mm. You know how ridiculous it would be if they have two different storylines of kidnappings where both parties are in, like they're in on the scheme.
Girl, it'll be dumb.
Yeah, that's better not be what they doing.
I hope not. I hope maybe this is some level of him actually being held. You know, but if it's not, I can guarantee you Diane is going to be hotter than fish grease because.
Oh yes.
It's one thing you almost took your life, you know, for Nikki to help her stop drinking. But then now you helping the Newmans and her to get her company back.
Well, not only that, but you had us thinking that you were kidnapped.
Exactly. Exactly. So, girl, yeah, that whole thing, yeah.
I'm gonna reserve my opinion until we find out for sure.
Yeah.
Whether or not Jack was in on it, because.
Yeah, we'll see. I didn't see anything on Monday, so I'm gonna look at the. Let me. You know what? Let me do that right now. Let me see if they're out. They should be. Give me a second. I see what. Bold, young. Here we go. Victor get the upper hand. So it's on. It looked like it's gonna happen somewhere on Tuesday. I mean on Wednesday. Because according to the March 4th spoilers, it said Victor get the upper hand against the Abbotts. And then Thursday is Victor backing Billy into the corner. So that kind of ties in. We ain't going to see that to the mid to end of next week.
Okay.
Yep. Now, to add to your point, because as I look into Thursday and Friday, it says Jack has a rude awakening and Jack world spins out of control. And yeah, so.
This was the best they could come up with, huh?
I guess so, girl.
This reminds me of when Sharon was kidnapped like 3 times within 4 months. Mm-hmm. Was that last year or the year before?
Yeah.
That now you got back-to-back kidnappings.
Yeah, that was last year, I think. Mm. How many times can you kidnap somebody?
Take the pen out of Josh Griffin's hand.
Oh, man. Okay, let me see something here. Okay. All right. Let's see. Let me see. What else? I'm trying to think. Was there something else? Let me double check. Because we did cover quite a bit, but it's only been 45 minutes. Normally it take us an hour and a half to get through. Let me see.
Probably don't help that I'm not as in tune to
girl, ain't no problem.
You and Bree are.
I know, no problem, girl. Please.
Did you talk about Lauren and we didn't talk about Lauren and Phyllis's conversation?
Yeah, I briefly touched on it because I was saying how refreshing it was to see Phyllis have some sort of an alliance.
Yeah.
But then she kind of was going back and forth, hot and cold, talking about being neutral. So I was like, well, wait a minute. Are you for Phyllis or are you not? So she kind of, when she
Yeah.
came in, oh, I support you. You beat Victor Newman. Oh my God, I got to take you out for a celebratory this, that, and the third. And then she started talking on the flip side about, see, you can't do this. And I'm like, and that's when Billy came over there, which was like, Phyllis, you need to stay cautious when it comes to, people that you surround yourself around. So,
I didn't
girl,
take the conversation that way. I I mean,
mhm,
to me, it seemed like Lauren was supportive of what she did because she can't stand Victor,
mhm,
and it was just when Phyllis asked her to come work for her when she was kind of like, I don't know about that, which I think is fine. Like she can like what Phyllis did because she likes that somebody got revenge on Victor,
mhm.
and still like stay like want to be neutral as far as I'm not going to get involved in it. However, I will cheerlead you from the sideline, but I don't want to be involved in the drama, which I don't. I think that's a rational reaction to have, in my opinion.
Okay. Well, I mean, hey, we get to see it different ways, and that's why we do this, because you see something different,
Mm-hmm.
and it's definitely, I can see where you're coming from on that. Oh, you know
Mm-hmm.
what else happened this week is Kane, when Phyllis came over to the train car, and that dude, I didn't know what, so he was there, that guy that didn't want Phyllis to leave.
Mm-hmm.
He was just there to keep her there to have a conversation, because
That's what it seemed like to me.
right, because then later on we see Phyllis moving around. So I'm like, okay, what was the purpose of all of that?
Yeah, because didn't it go off after that guy blocked the
Right,
door?
because I'm like, dang, did they take her captive too?
Yeah.
But then next thing I know, they was just going back and forth, and she was like, I'm never going to give it up. And, and he was like, I got a plan. Let's trick Victor Newman. I'm like, oh, here we go. You know, so,
Yeah, that was kind of weird.
I'm trying to see. I think, well, we saw Daniel disowning Phyllis, but, when she said, when she was stuck in that place with Sharon,
Mm.
she said that when she get out, she would always try to see what she's going to do next to create a legacy for her kids. And Daniel stopped for a second, looked like he kind of felt something in that moment, but he walked off after that. I don't think that's gonna last
Mm-hmm.
that long. Daniel is gonna come right back around just like he did 3 years ago.
Yeah, I don't know. My my thing about Phyllis and her kids is, or Phyllis and her schemes in general, is I just need her to be honest about why she's doing it and stop hanging it on her kids. Because Summer is fine. Summer is a Newman. Summer is going to be well taken care of. I mean, I guess if anything, she could say she's doing it for Daniel, but she's not doing it for her kids. She's doing it for herself.
Mm,
And I just need her to say that instead of continuing to say, "Oh, I'm doing this for my kids. I'm doing this so my kids will be taken care of." And it's like that's not why you're doing it.
mm-hmm.
That's what I don't like about her when it comes to her doing her scheming, because she said the same thing when she faked her death. She
Yeah.
did it. She was doing it for her kids, and it's like, how? How was faking your death for your kids? So it bugs me when she does something and then tries to guilt trip her kids by saying, "I'm doing this for you."
Gotcha.
I want her to stop doing that. I want her to own what she's doing and just say, "I'm doing it because I want to do it. I'm doing it because I hate Victor and I hate the Newmans and I want to make them pay." Just leave it at that,
Mm-hmm.
and stop trying to act like you're doing this because you want to be this great mom, because that's not it.
Yep, I agree. I agree. Okay. Um, some people in the chat was saying Phyllis, like Paris said, Phyllis is cold, but I kind of respect a bit. I hope Kane is serious about saving his family and more focused on the company. I think Daniel obviously cares for his mom, even though he's mad at her.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that. Yep. I'm trying to see. Oh, that conversation where Chelsea threatened Sally. Them two was throwing they were throwing daggers back and forth. And I
I mean, they were
did
both making some good
they
points.
were definitely making some good points. I actually did a Instagram clip video on those two. And
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Chelsea she was really trying to manipulate this girl and looking to hang her hat on any and everything that Sally was saying, you know, and
Mm-hmm.
try to use it against her. You know what I mean? And then Sally was catching them. She kind of leaned into the conversation because she mad at Billy. But then she
Yeah.
was like, "Yeah, well, you a con. You got a lot of nerve to be saying." She was like, "Excuse me," and I'm thinking to myself, "She ain't stutter."
That's what Sally said to Chelsea, right?
Right, that she was a
She called
con.
Chelsea a con. Yeah. You know what's funny about it too is how concerned Chelsea was when Adam first talked about going back to work for Victor. She was so concerned about him being pulled back into Victor's world and
Mm-hmm.
everything that they're doing now.
Mm-hmm. Yep. She didn't like doing what Adam doing Victor's bidding. She didn't like
Mm-hmm.
some of the stuff that Victor was doing, and then all of a sudden she changed her tune, and now her con side kicked in, and now she's leaning into being a Newman, which is what Sally ended the whole conversation with.
Yep. And she's right.
And she is absolutely right. You're more of a Newman than just like you always wanted to be. And she couldn't say anything about that because Sally has had those conversations with Chelsea in the past about the Newmans.
Yeah.
So now that she's leaning in and want to guilt trip her and make her feel some kind of way, it's like, girl, stop. You were the same one complaining about the Newmans, yet now you leaning into being one.
All right.
You know. So, and Sharon too. It's like, don't y'all remember all the
Sharon
stuff?
always has.
Yeah, I mean, she ain't gonna let that go. She's
Yeah.
always, as much as Victor has tried to throw her under the bus, Nick has
And
cheated
Nikki.
on her. That Nikki didn't like her for so many years. You still want to be up under them.
Yep. I
Yeah,
mean, she still live on the property.
yeah. And the kids are grown, so it ain't like you got Faith still running around there with pigtails. That girl
All
is in
right.
college somewhere in what, the University of Michigan, I think they wrote in the script.
Yep.
So, anywho, I think I think we covered everything, girl. I think
Yeah, I can't
we
think of anything else.
did. I think we did. I was looking to make sure. All right. Yeah, I know, right? T.A. Chelsea trying to pretend she was so concerned about Billy. Yes, she was. She was like, I'm concerned about Billy. I don't want him to. You ain't concerned about Billy. And that's when Sally said, what was your concern about Billy when you cheated on him? I was like, oh.
Yep.
I was like, oh, that was good. That was a good. That's what I
Yeah.
mean by clapbacks.
Yeah, that was it. Those were some definitely some good clapbacks in that conversation or argument.
Exactly. Exactly. And they need more of that. I mean,
Yeah.
they were going back and forth when Chelsea called, and I got to give Chelsea credit for calling her out, saying how you hate what Billy did, but yet you don't have no problem taking that company from him.
Right.
So I was like, yep, that's how you get back. That's how you go back and forth. So, anywho, all right, we moving it along. Enough of Y&R. I think we covered everything. We
Yep.
finna
Yep.
do some bold business. And majority of this week, actually I was glad to get a break from the Taylor and Deacon thing.
Mm-hmm.
And when I saw the promo for next week, I'm like, oh Lord, here we go again. Even though there are some things about this Ivy, Electra, Will, RJ story and Dylan storyline that I have some things to say, I really am not interested. And I know, especially J Money, I know he's truly interested in the Taylor and Deacon thing, but I'm just not
Mm-hmm.
there. What about you?
I I actually don't mind either one of the stories.
Oh, okay.
I know there's some dislike about the Deacon Taylor Sheila stuff going on, but my thing is, this is really the first time Sheila and Deacon have had this kind of a problem, this issue. So I'm here for it.
Yeah, well, he's being a hypocrite. So, I
Mm-hmm.
mean, you
He
sitting up there
sure
talking
is.
about being mad about Sheila keeping that secret about Luna. You got a whole bunch of secrets going on, and it's bad,
Yes,
and it's real
one
bad.
thousand
But
percent.
what you say?
I said 1,000%.
Yeah,
He's doing the most right now.
he is definitely doing the most. And from what we saw last week, where he was up in there tearing up them sheets with Sheila, but thinking about Taylor,
Yeah.
yeah, that was the same thing that Hope did in 2023 when she tore up that couch with Liam, and Liam was thinking like, "Oh my God, man, it was great.
Thought
We
he was
haven't
doing
had it
something.
like that in a long time." When she was thinking about Thomas,
Liam thought he was really doing
he
something
thought
too.
he was doing. So it's the same
Oh
thing,
man.
which is horrible. Because who wants to be giving their body to their significant other and they're getting, and I'm just gonna say it, everybody grown here, they're getting off
Mm-hmm.
thinking about somebody else.
Yeah.
That's bad.
Yep. But it's not a first on soaps.
Definitely not a first on
Run of
soaps.
the mill.
I know,
Yeah.
right? All right, so let's get back into the week of the 23rd. So, we had this situation with Eric, because I'll start there,
Mm-hmm.
where, and John McCook did do a recent interview where, it's not going to be pretty much a health crisis storyline, which a lot of us was like, please, not again, after dealing with that whole
Yeah.
coughing up a lung storyline about 3 years ago. Um,
Yep.
he was just saying that it was a stress moment, and then I guess this is a way to get acknowledgement and get acknowledgement from Ridge to hash out, oh, you shouldn't have retired me, come on back. He's gonna want to come on back, but he's in a contract. Now,
Yeah.
we also had this back and forth between Brooke and Katie, and Brooke is just, it's almost like she's talking through delusion or ego.
Definitely ego. I mean, that's how Brooke operates.
Because it
And
was,
it doesn't matter that Katie is her little sister.
but it was clear that what Katie was saying, Katie put the facts out there. This man came
Mm-hmm.
to me. He wanted to design because y'all kicked him to the curb. We gave him an opportunity to keep working. It got a little stressful. Yes, we should have checked in on him on that. And we want to make sure that he's good. And that's how all this happened. She goes into, you stole him from us and you're just trying to get one up on me. And I'm like, Brooke, did you just hear anything that girl said to you?
She didn't. She Brooke has been making this about her since Katie named the company Logan.
Mm-hmm.
She's been making this about Katie being jealous of her.
Girl, I'm just sitting up, and it took after all that back and forth where Katie said at least several times that y'all made him feel bad, y'all made him feel discarded, you all
Mm-hmm.
didn't value him. Ridge had to come downstairs and tell and pretty much agree and say, "Hey, Bill and them is right. I just had a conversation with my dad, and he said the exact same thing." And she still looked, even though it shut her up, she was still
Mm-hmm.
looking crazy. I'm like, how can you not see that?
because Brooke is hard headed and she's stubborn, and she still has it in her head that this is about her. No matter what anybody says, this is all
Oh,
about Katie being jealous of her.
wait a minute, girl. Bree is in here. Hey, Bree, girl.
Oh, hey, Brie.
She says she's just listening in. Hey, girl. Hopefully your baby is doing okay, and we miss you, and we'll see you next week.
Yes.
All
You
right.
know what I
Hmm.
messed up with this storyline though is, first of all, the execution once again
Mm-hmm.
terrible, because why do we need this to be kicked off with Ridge once again forcing this man to retire?
Right.
Um, but then they had Ridge change his mind,
Mm-hmm.
and he told Eric that he was wrong, that he wanted him to come back to Forrester,
Mm-hmm.
and Eric told him no.
Mm-hmm.
Was basically like, no, that that's all right. I'm just gonna enjoy retirement. Whatever it was that he said, he turned it down. He didn't want to come back. But then you go over to Spencer and you go design for her because they won't let you design at Forrester.
Right.
None of that makes sense.
Mm-mm.
So it's like, did they change something up in the middle of doing this storyline? Was this not the original plan, and then they changed their minds and decided to go this direction? Just none of this makes any sense. We didn't need Ridge once again forcing this man to retire.
Right. I agree.
This is like the fourth time Ridge has tried to force him to retire.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I so agree. And it's like, let this man just leave when he get ready. I understand you want to take on the company. I understand maybe he is concerned about his health. But, Eric is like, listen, if I'm going to, keel over at my desk, just let me do that.
All right.
And there's nothing nobody should push you out. And especially out of your own company. Now,
Yeah.
do it
It just never makes
happen where
sense.
people are voted out? Especially if you're a publicly owned company and the shareholders decide to get together and vote you out, that's different. But in
Right.
this situation, you talking about a son is like, yeah, it's time for him to go. He need to get out the way. Let's just throw a retirement party together. He gonna walk in and say, "Hey, happy retirement." Let's send him about his way.
Right. And then it's just very cold, and like I feel so like nonchalant about it. Like, this is a company this man built from the bottom up for what, 50 plus years, and you're just gonna have him walk into his surprise retirement party when this man is not ready to be retired.
Exactly. It
And it's
makes
just
no sense.
yeah, and like Eric was saying this week, I'm tired of you treating me like a child, because that's how Rich has been talking to him. He treats Eric like he's a little kid that can't make his own decisions, or like maybe Eric, has some
Mm-hmm.
cognitive issues, which he doesn't. And
Mm-hmm.
just he's very excuse me, condescending when it comes to Eric. So I don't know. This is what it's kind of what it was stupid for Eric to go over to Spencer in the first place
Mm-hmm.
and sign a contract with them, but also Ridge, this is what you get to.
Yeah, Bree says Brooke's audacity is its own character on Bold. It gets more screen time than
Yes.
Zende.
It does. It really does.
Yeah,
I won't allow it.
and then even when let Ridge take accountability because he was wrong.
Hmm.
Because even when they got home back to Brooke's house and Ridge was like, you know what? I pushed my dad out. I shouldn't have done this. I should have listened to him. And she's like, oh, don't do that. Don't say that. I'm like,
Baby.
leave him. He realizes that he shouldn't have did that to his dad. Let him have
Right.
that. Let him sit with that for a minute.
Exactly.
And it's sitting.
It's
Go ahead.
no, you finish.
No, I was going to say, and that always it goes back to let people. I mean, even Katie apologized and said, she was like, "Look, you know
Yeah.
what? I'm gonna apologize because I did this, that, and the third," and she was still doubling down. I'm like, Brooke, stop.
Yeah.
Just stop.
Yeah, Katie was like, can you at least acknowledge that what you got, like how you guys treated Eric was wrong? And Brooke still couldn't do
Nope.
it.
Nope. She couldn't concede at all. So, I mean,
and
I just think, like you say, it was shock value for February sweeps because Eric
mm,
shouldn't have never been over there.
yeah,
Even if he did, with the retirement that shouldn't have happened. Still, why go over there? They was
right.
lining it up. They did a rewrite, obviously, because they were lining it up for Deke to go over there. She sat down and had a whole meeting with that boy, only to be like, just, oh, well, it didn't happen. I'm like, well, why did y'all do that and then turn around and get the February sweeps? And it's like, ooh, let's see if we can shock everybody with Eric going over there.
Which kind of brings us to, because I know we were talking in the group chat
Mm-hmm.
and had a couple of different theories about where they go from here. Because I know, um, I think Bree was thinking that Eric is gonna go back and finish his, I guess, contract with Spencer, but it's gonna end up affecting his health, and that's gonna be the drama, or that's gonna be the outcome of this whole thing. And then I think me and Jay were thinking that because Bill was talking about, well, we have Eric's sketches, like these are ours. He designed this while he was under contract with us. We were thinking that maybe he's just going to go find a designer, like hire a designer to create um, uh, the designs off of Eric's sketches. So I wonder if maybe that's where Deke gets pulled in. Excuse me.
Interesting. Now, I will say, I think that's a better option because clearly the man is stressed out. He
Mm-hmm.
really is. Now, it might be a little bit less weight because it's no longer a secret, because trying to hide something is a mental weight that you have to carry around. Now that it's out in the open, it's a little bit different, but it still take a lot of work to do all these sketches and designing and ordering all this fabric that they gotta wait. And I could see
Yeah.
Bill, like you say, ended up just saying, okay, we might not have you know Eric himself, but we got his pictures,
Yes.
you know. So I mean, that's a
I hope that's
possibility.
the direction they go.
I mean, yeah, it would seem feasible instead of working this man, and y'all fighting back and forth over, I don't know. I guess we'll have to see. I didn't see anything too much on that in the promo next week. So maybe we're going to get a little bit less of that storyline now that, it's out in the open and they just got to figure out, where to go. Well, Katie and Bill are going to have to figure out where to go next because as far as Brooke and Ridge are concerned, they thinking Eric is coming back. And I think Eric thinks
Yeah.
he's coming back too. So,
Or maybe this turns into a legal storyline because they're going to sue Eric because he doesn't finish his contract
yeah,
or he refuses to work for him or something.
yeah, I agree with that. All right, girl, we got to tackle this other storyline with the kids and Ivy and Daphne.
Mm-hmm.
I This
Mm-mm-mm.
was the dumbest thing ever to me because I guess it'll be different if just say I don't I've heard of people writing love letters to this day, whether it's through a
Mm-hmm.
text or somebody send them an email or whatever social media. But she decided, even though that boy was in the next room, to
Yes.
write a letter and leave that darn thing on that desk and leave. And I'm
Because it
like,
was more personal.
it was supposed to have a more impact because it was on paper.
Yeah.
I was like,
That
what
was
is
so
this?
stupid.
That was the that was the dumbest thing ever. And I'm like, you can just go over there and talk to him.
Right.
What difference is it going to make that you put it on? It'll make more of an impact if I write it on a piece of paper. Really?
That that felt like some 1990s
Exactly. And that's what
some 1990s BS that they would have done back then.
But that's why
Not
it doesn't
in
make any sense,
2026.
girl, because we in 2026 with all the technology in the world.
Right. But I guess that's how they tried to justify it with her saying it's more intimate or more personal or whatever it was that she said as to why she was writing him a love letter or love note or whatever you want to call it. Like that's still not gonna fly, guys.
Right. No.
It's still stupid.
Correct. Very much so. And so I'm sitting up there. Now she leaves it in there, which sets up the whole domino effect with bringing in Ivy, which, in my opinion, I just think, why are you in these 20-year-olds' business? These are, I mean, they're not kids. I know I keep saying
Mm-hmm.
kids. They're not like high schoolers or eighth graders or anything like that, right? But it's like, go find yourself somebody. Why are you worried about them?
Well, it's no different than back when Liam, Hope, and Steffi were going through their whole little triangle, and Brooke and Katie and
I could see the
all of them was
moms.
all up in their mix.
Yeah, I guess. But I mean, I could see mothers. Mothers are always going to be mother hens, mama bears, that type of thing. Because we used to see Brooke, interfering with that whole thing with Steffi and Hope all the time, right? Or even Taylor
Mm-hmm.
or whoever, right?
Yeah.
But I don't know. I hate this for because we brought Ivy back a couple years ago. She came in May to kiss Liam, only for Steffi to push her out. When she was already married to somebody else. And then they brought her back to bridge in Electra. She
Mm-hmm.
shot her shot with Liam. Liam blocked that shot by saying he wants Hope. And now where she's left with, you know, oh, let me make sure that Dylan doesn't seduce Will because it's not proper. I know I'm not saying it right. It's not proper. Bree said Bo had the worst February sweeps. Wait a minute. We all we all had this technology and she would choose to write a letter. He was right next door, but she wants to write a letter. These kids don't read anymore. Well, that's true. They even shorten words these days. Some of the stuff people are like, what is that?
This
Acronyms.
whole situation, in my opinion, I not Ivy,
Electra?
Electra has just overreacted
Oh,
in
absolutely.
general.
It's her
Just
jumping to a whole bunch of conclusions.
yeah.
And the way that it's set up is like, okay, I left this letter over here, it's gone, but his necklace is still here. And that was crazy too because the necklace broke.
Right.
And you just leave
And
it on the
it's
desk and walk away. Uh,
well, I think what I thought that he was going to look for something to fix his necklace
Girl, he went
because
all the way
that's
home.
the impression that I got when he walked out of the
Uh-huh.
when he was walking out of the off or like when it first broke, it
Hmm.
was almost like he looked around for a second, like he was looking for something, and then he walked out of the office like he was trying to search for something. Not that he was walking out of the office to go home, but yes, the next time we saw him, he was at home.
Right. That's what I thought
But
because
even
I'm like,
so,
where's he going? And then next thing I know, we get a scene with him walking in the house.
but even so, why wouldn't Electra just call him when she saw the necklace? If
Thank
she
you.
like if she assumed that he saw her letter and then left his necklace there, I think I would call to get more clarification.
You would think.
Like she automatically jumped to the conclusion that he was done with her
Mm-hmm.
and that was it.
Yeah.
No communication whatsoever. Just
Exactly.
basing it all on this note that you left.
Yep. There was no communication whatsoever. None. It made no sense to me. And then she started jumping to a bunch of conclusions. The letter's not there. He left his
Mm-hmm.
necklace, so he must break up with me. And he's back over at the house with Dylan. And then on the flip side, he goes to tell Dylan to pack it up and leave, only to come back and
Yeah.
find RJ, which was obviously manipulated by Ivy, as we know, because she the one that's saying, "Oh, go up in the showroom and do this, that, and the third," knowing Electra was in there,
Mm-hmm.
and she's standing around watching this whole thing unfold. And RJ kisses her. Now, what do you think about that kiss, Bree? I mean, Bree, Lord, Keish. What do you think about this kiss? Because to me, that kiss wasn't like, "Oh, what you doing?"
Yeah, I feel like if she was that thrown off by that kiss, she would have flinched when he even moved
Right.
towards her. But it's like she put her hand up, and as long as he kept his face there,
Mm-hmm.
that was not a that wasn't a. For instance, when what's her name? When Hope kissed Finn, he
Mm-hmm.
immediately
Pulled away.
flinched and
Right.
pulled, like, yeah, pushed her away and was basically like WTF.
Mm-hmm.
Electra stood there, and what was that? A good 10 seconds at least.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, she definitely kissed him back, in my opinion,
I agree.
because she didn't even really pull away. She didn't even do like a oh my god, I can't believe you did that. It was almost just like they stopped kissing, and then she had a delayed reaction, like,
Right.
wait, you can't do that.
Exactly. Yeah, she was in the middle of that kiss.
Mm-hmm.
Cause I mean, ain't nobody just gonna come up and kiss me. It'd be like, hold on, what you getting? Even getting too close to my face. It's like, what you doing? You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I'm sorry, but RJ was coming off as like way too thirsty to me. Like, he's known Ivy for a couple of weeks, and he's like, "Oh, you're the best woman I've ever known, and you're just so sweet and beautiful and wonderful. I can't believe Will would treat you like this." And it's just like, you're laying it on way too thick.
Right.
Like, calm down, buddy.
Exactly.
And then to even get in her face and assume that this was a good time to kiss her while she's upset about her boyfriend.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, yeah, it's doing too much.
It's definitely doing too much. It's definitely doing too much. And then they had that phone call today. And I'm like, okay, here's the problem that's unrealistic to me in that phone call. This man is calling you. You answer the phone. Most women would be like, what's going on? Your necklace is
Right.
here. You ain't
Did you
talking to.
like,
Yeah, did you break up
yeah,
with
like my
me?
letter?
Right, did you? Exactly. She got on that phone and said absolutely nothing.
And
And
the
then
same with him. He got on that phone
exactly.
and didn't say anything about seeing her kiss RJ.
Exactly. And I mean, most men, believe me, if because men can be a little territorial. They're gonna be like,
Uh-huh.
uh, why was RJ kissing you? I saw it. Is
Most
this
men would have walked in that room when they saw him.
exactly?
But he is
So
Liam's little brother, so remember
silly.
when he walked away from the door when he thought Thomas was kissing Hope?
Right. But the crazy thing about all of that is that there was no communication in that at all. Dylan
Yeah.
was heard in the background, and then she automatically jumped into the conclusion that, oh, he's off work today, so he's spending the day with Dylan. Where did you get that from?
Right. And
All
she
he
don't even
said
know that
is,
he
I
told
need to
Dylan to
get
get
my
out.
head on straight, and I need to get my head on straight, so I'm taking the day off. He didn't have to
Yeah.
tell you that, you know.
It makes me wonder if, because on the spoilers next week it says something about Will gives Steffi some surprising news, or Will shock Steffi with some information, or I forget what it is. The
Wait a minute, let me
spoilers
see. I
said, but
think
I
I
wonder.
still have it open. Go ahead.
Okay.
Let me
I was gonna
check.
say, I wonder if it's gonna be he's gonna start feeling like he can't work at Forrester with Electra anymore, with
There it
RJ being
is.
there.
It's on Friday,
With
March 6th. Will shock Steffi with unexpected news.
yeah, so I wonder if he's gonna quit and go work for his dad because he doesn't want to be there around Electra and RJ.
Oh, I would be so happy about that.
Me too.
Cause he don't need to be there.
He doesn't.
You know, your whole
Has zero
legacy.
reason.
Exactly. You know, your whole legacy is over there. Your dad is a billionaire. Why are you working for the ops?
Right.
I mean, we used to say that about Kyle working for Victor.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like, why are you even over there just because you was trying to date Electra? Y'all can date from two different companies. You
Yeah.
know, if they're
It
going to
was.
get back together, which I don't know. I guess we'll have to see because after that whole kiss with Dylan next week, 'cause that's on the promo.
Yeah. I think was it Bree or Jay that said that they wonder if that's a
A dream.
if Dylan daydreaming or something like that.
Well, on Thursday, let me see. It looked like Thursday, March 5th. Dylan divulges all to Will. So divulging can mean conversation. It could mean anything, but it could also mean that too. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I like the chemistry with Dylan and Will
Oh,
better than him and
absolutely.
Electra, so I'm excited about the two of them possibly
Girl,
hooking up.
Dylan, that young lady that plays Dylan has chemistry with both guys. You don't think? Do you think she had
I
chemistry with RJ?
I need to see her in a few more scenes with RJ
Okay. She definitely
because I
got
think they've only
chemistry with
had
Will.
yeah she does.
Hmm.
They've only had one scene together so far, her and RJ, right? When
Yeah,
they
and
bumped
when
into
she
each other at
bumped it,
Forrester.
right. Mm-hmm. Yep, sure did. It definitely had that. Definitely had that. So, um, but yeah, it was just if you're gonna put Dylan, and I know they're trying to do a slow burn when it comes to Dylan and Will. They don't want to make it look because a lot of people when she came around was like, oh, she gonna be like Luna. They definitely deviated
Mm-hmm.
away from that. It was more of her being this homeless
Yeah.
girl and she's sweet and she got a crush and so they pretty much just brought her down to earth. The chemistry is definitely there between those two, right?
Yep.
However,
Yeah.
them with this letter and no communication and jumping to conclusions, it's just like I'm about to be over this storyline too. Even though I would prefer this storyline over Deacon and Taylor. So
Yeah. It's gotten better for me. At first, so the addition of Dylan for sure has made the whole 20 somethings more interesting.
mm-hmm.
Um, and as stupid as this whole little setup was with
Right.
the letter and the lack of rational communication between Will and Electra, I'm kind of enjoying the way this is going. Only because I like Dylan, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
glad that they did not make her another psycho character because we didn't
Right.
need another one.
Right. I agree with that. I definitely agree with that. Definitely,
And
definitely.
she's in the opening credits now.
Yeah, so she's probably gonna stick around for a while,
Yeah.
which would be cool. But I definitely want to see because there's some heat between those two. I got to give it to them trying to put Dylan and Will together. You know,
Yeah.
so
Yeah. I hope they do.
I really do. Do you see chemistry with Electra and RJ?
Um, I think it's better than her chemistry with Will for
Okay,
sure.
okay.
I thought she had. I thought her best chemistry was with uh Deke. I liked her
Oh
scenes with
yeah,
Deke.
that was in the alley.
Hmm.
Yeah.
No, no, no. Electra. I'm sorry.
Right, that's
Not
what I'm talking
not
about when
Dylan.
they were. Oh, not okay. Gotcha, gotcha, gotcha.
Yeah, because when Deke first came on, him and Electra had several scenes together when he was working at Forrester, and I thought they had pretty good chemistry.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yep, I agree. I totally agree. Um, one other thing I want to mention when Ivy had that conversation talking about Will, because
Hmm.
originally it started out about kicking Dylan to the curb, and then she was supportive of the relationship. Now she's totally against it, it seems. But when she mentioned, can you believe he slept with another woman before sleeping with her? And I'm like, let's not do that. That boy
Yeah,
was great.
she always. I always felt like Ivy blamed Will for that situation. It was almost like just like she said, it was like she was taking it as Will cheating on her,
Right.
and that's not what happened. But ever since that happened, um, I feel like Ivy has been against Electra being with Will
Mm-hmm.
because she was annoyed with the fact that Luna was pregnant, and she was like, you're too young to have to deal with a child, and you didn't sign up for this, and you just basically you need to cut Will loose. So she's been trying to get Electra to get rid of Will for a while now.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I just when I heard that, I'm like, dang, how y'all gonna downplay that? Now y'all can't. Yeah, there's
Yeah.
no way you'll be able to get away with something like that in daytime on the opposite gender. But
Yep.
with Will, it's a situation where y'all allow that to be played out, and then you got
Yep.
people like her saying something like, saying something like, "Oh, well, can you believe she slept with another woman?" I mean, he slept with another woman before he slept with her. That was not what that is.
Right. Now, had they had her say something like, I can't believe Will slept with Electra
Hmm.
knowing that had happened to him and he kept it from her, that would be more understandable because Will definitely should have let Electra know what
Right,
happened.
I agree with that. He definitely the communication piece should have
Mm-hmm.
happened, or he shouldn't have let them sleeping together happen. Say, listen, something happened. I don't think this is the right time. I
Yeah.
was taken advantage of. We need to
I
push
need to
this
get
back.
tested. Yeah.
Bree said Electra should speak to Steffi when she finds out that Ivy manipulated her and Will. Steffi know firsthand how manipulative Ivy
she,
can be.
she sure does.
Yep. So, I'm trying to think. Was there anything else? I think I pulled. That was the last piece I wanted to pull out of what Ivy said in that conversation, and then the threat to Daphne. You better not tell anybody. I've been like, and what you gonna do? I'm married
Exactly.
to the
What,
COO. What are you gonna do?
right. What power do you have, Ivy? Steffi
I'm.
is her best friend, and like you said, she's married to the COO. Like, what are you really gonna do
I
to me
can't
if I say
believe.
something?
Right, and I mean, she obviously kept quiet, and I'm thinking to myself, like, you gonna let her talk to you like that? You
I
ain't
think she's gonna
Dylan.
end up saying something.
Yeah, but I would have. This is where we need a clap back. Like, who you talking to? Do you know who
Yeah.
I'm married to? I mean, my husband is actually an attorney, so we can get legal in this piece if you want to talk about threats.
Right. As annoying as Ivy is being with the way that she's like mothering Electra,
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad that they've actually given her something to do. Like I'm enjoying being annoyed by her, I should say.
You like being mad at her?
Yeah. I mean
Uh,
she's definitely being overboard with this whole thing, but I don't know. I'm enjoying it for whatever reason.
Bree
I think
just
it's funny.
gave Bold February sweeps a D minus.
That's a good score, Bree. That's what they deserve.
Yes, they do. I'm sitting up here like, yeah, I thought it was going to be something different. We thought we was going down a health scare rabbit hole.
I'm so
Then
glad they didn't.
I'm glad they didn't go because I was like, and I know that's one thing you was worried about, Keish. It's
Yeah.
like, oh, here we go. We're going to have another health storyline and da 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 da. So it's good that they're not good. It was just oh, let's do some shock value, like I said, by having Eric go over to Spencer for a hot minute, only to fix the relationship between him and Ridge, and that was it.
Yeah.
So,
Completely unnecessary.
right. Yep, I agree. All right, we got anything else? Dang, we only spent a half an hour on that, girl.
There wasn't really much that happened
And
this week
right,
because
it
they
was
only
only
focused
two
on that one
storylines.
storyline, right?
Right, it
Oh
was
yeah,
only
too.
yeah, it was only two. It was the Eric and Katie and Ridge and Brooke story, and the whole thing with Electra, Dylan, Will, and Ivy and Daphne.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had no Taylor and Deacon this week, which I was actually okay with that. So
They'll be back next week
I
for you.
know when I saw that promo, I'm like, oh no, here we go again. So all right. Yeah, and TA agrees with you. TA say, yeah, definitely give some meat on the bone as a storyline for Ivy.
Yeah.
So I agree with you on that. Yep, yep, yep. Okay, I guess we will go over to Beyond the Gates. Um, Anita did her interview with Gail. Um,
Hmm.
we had people like Anastasia, and Leslie try to, I don't know, that fake sympathy that they gave in so many words. I mean, I gotta say, Trisha Mann is playing it to the hilt of being an extreme villain. This woman just announced she had breast cancer, and she was worried about getting the spotlight.
Yeah.
You know
Uh,
what you finna say about that girl?
I have my opinions on of the way they've written the Leslie character. I just don't. I don't even see her as a villain anymore. It's just she just comes off as a gnat now, like
Annoying.
just a little annoyance. Yeah,
Yeah.
just annoying everybody. It's not even villainous. It's just you're just annoying.
Right. Yeah, they did. Aisha, she said Nicole and Danny did get answer her real good. I mean, cause she come over there trying to put the spotlight on this whole free clinic and try to use the
Hmm.
Dupris resources to help her. And I'm thinking like, you definitely delusional to think that these people are gonna help you.
Very much so. And I think that's one of the annoying things about her character is
The audacity.
it's the audacity, but also like considering what she's done to them,
Mm-hmm.
the way that they have to unrealistically force her into everybody's storyline is just it's annoying. Like, how many times are we gonna watch Anita and Vernon just sit there and listen to her talk? Like,
Yeah.
why are you guys engaging in conversation with her?
Right.
Why on earth did Danny not knock every tooth out of her mouth after she closed the door in her face and Leslie had the audacity to open her door and walk in her house?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I know that we are supposed to suspend belief when we watch soaps, but some of this stuff is just completely ridiculous.
Yeah.
The only realistic interaction she had, in my opinion, was the one with Smitty, because Smitty actually checked her on the fact that she stole Samantha's idea, and now
Right.
she's basically running around telling everybody it's her clinic and this is her idea and blah blah blah. And he
Right.
gave her a piece of his mind, and he got up and walked away from her.
Right.
Anita and Vernon just sit there silently and actually engage in conversation with her, but they're annoyed, and it's like You guys don't actually have to sit there and listen to her, but every single time they do.
Right. They do. They just sit through it. I mean, and then Verna say something about it or whatever, but they sit there. This woman has interrupted your lunch not once but twice.
Yes.
Only for you to sit up there and just be looking at her. And I know they're trying to be diplomatic and everything, but I mean, she's banking on y'all not saying anything back to her. Because she was like, oh, they ain't going to say nothing. I'm just going to.
Exactly.
That's why she do what she do.
She just comes in and just runs over everything.
Mm-hmm.
And it was what was funny was the way that I feel like when it's Anastasia, they all have so much to say to her.
Mm-hmm.
They will shut Anastasia down. They will drag her back and forth through that club. Vernon even said something about finding out how to revoke her membership.
Right.
None of that energy for Leslie. It's almost as if they're scared
Wait a
of
minute. I
her,
thought that was
or
Anastasia that he said he was going to revoke her membership. Was it Leslie?
it was. That's what I'm. No, it was to Anastasia. But
Oh.
that's what I'm saying. You have all that energy for Anastasia, who is just a general, nuisance because she's a gossip and she's always trying
Mm-hmm.
to um remind Anita that she didn't come from wealth like she did. You know what I
Right.
mean? Always trying to put Anita down and look down her nose at her. But when it comes to Leslie, who has done serious damage to your family, what do you mean you're not telling Leslie, let me figure out how to revoke your membership?
Right.
Or trying to get her kicked out of the club because she's harassing you and your wife. Like, I don't know.
Yeah,
It's
it's
just
kind of
it's
like they
annoying.
clap at certain people, but when it come to Leslie, majority of everybody else stand down, except for
Yeah.
Kat.
Yes.
Cause
Literally.
yeah, cause Kat gave it to her, and they were going toe to toe. I mean, I'm surprised Eva was pretty much like, you
Kind of
know,
stood back.
yeah, she was like, can't y'all stop? Let's not do this. And they was like, no, let's do this.
Yeah.
You know, so I don't know, but I mean, she was running into everybody, and they pretty much, I. But obviously, she is the annoyance. She's the antagonizer of the
Mm-hmm.
show, and that's why they do what they do when it comes to her.
Yeah.
Yep.
I just wish it was I don't know. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I would have more respect for the Dupris when it came to Leslie if they shut her down every
Mm-hmm.
time she walked into their scene, or if they just walked away from her, or just didn't even don't even give her the energy.
Right.
Just let her talk herself to exhaust herself with all her ramblings, and then just get up and walk away without saying anything to her.
Right. I agree.
Like something.
Yep.
Good grief.
I agree, girl. All right. Couple other storylines that we had was the whole thing with Haley and what's that chick name?
Lynette.
Lynette.
I
You
love
know,
Lynette.
because they got the guy that's in the top right corner to take the fall because Lynette planted some stuff on him while he was pretty much, out of it. And so they took him in. He got released on Joey's call, but at the
Mm-hmm.
same time, like Randy told Haley, like this girl gonna want you to pay up. She's not your friend. You
Yep.
don't think that she did all this for free.
Exactly.
And sure enough, she got another long term stay in that fancy hotel suite she's in.
I need I need them to figure out how to keep Lynette around long term. Because she is actually like the stuff that she's doing is like that's entertaining. That's entertaining antagonist type stuff.
Mhm.
Even Haley became a better character after it was revealed, that she was scheming. But I love the fact that Lynette is, for the most part, blackmailing Haley.
Mm-hmm. But here's
Like,
my
she's made the
issue.
storyline interesting.
Here's my issue with that storyline is because of the fact where are we going with Haley? Because at first it was I'm looking for a come up, then
Mm-hmm.
it's I'm trying to unalive him. Now it's I want my all the attention on me because of Danny.
Mm-hmm.
So
I don't know.
where
So
they going?
I'm
It's
with
like they
you.
don't know what direction they want to take this in because they don't want to end the character because I
Right.
mean, obviously she's entertaining, and bringing on Lynette brings on additional entertainment. So what do
Mm.
you do with her?
And that's why it would have made sense for them. Like, I feel like by now, they should have had Haley have a change of heart when it comes to Bill and decide that she wants to stay married to him. And
Mm,
then because Lynette is there, Lynette can be the one that is blackmailing her, like, oh, you want to stay married to him now, which that kind of screws her out of some money. It screws Randy out of some money because she promised both of them
right.
something after she got the payout from Bill. Um, and if they would have done that little flip, then Lynette could be blackmailing her, and because, oh, you better give me what I want, or I'm going to tell Bill what you were really trying to do, that you were trying to unalive him,
Mm-hmm.
uh, a few months ago. Like, that would have been a great twist,
Mm-hmm.
or a great pivot for that story, because now she's not trying to unalive Bill, and they can work their way out of, I don't know, kind of out of that hole. Excuse me, out of that hole with Haley, as a way to keep her around. Because if she continues to try to unalive him and everybody finds out, what reason or excuse could they use to keep her around and not put her in jail?
Mm-hmm.
And even if they do something to where Haley doesn't go to jail, like, what keeps her in the picture? Because she's not married to Bill. Um, Nobody likes her. She's
Mm-hmm.
not friends with Haley or Ashley anymore. So, so like, what reason would she have to keep coming around and staying in the picture unless she does get pregnant?
Right. Because we did
That
see
would be
that
the
in the
only other way
promo
to keep
next
her.
week. Remember, we see Bill ask her, "You think you're ready to have a kid?"
Yeah, yeah, but wasn't she like on birth control or something to keep her from actually getting pregnant?
Mm-hmm. That's true. Yep.
So I don't know, and again, that would be another way to pivot the story. Is she changes her mind? She gets pregnant by Bill. That's child support. That's like 18 years of child support and support that she gets from him, even if they do divorce.
Right.
So that will secure her place.
Yeah, and
But
to keep the character on the show longer. You know what I mean?
mm-hmm, yeah, but they haven't seemed to do that pivot yet. And it would make sense as to why she still acts like she's jealous of Danny. And I think they tried to explain it before by her saying, if Danny keeps getting his attention, then it's going to lessen my chances of it's going to mess up my plan, because now he's not paying attention to me. He's spending all his time over there, and if he decides he wants to go back to Danny, I don't have a way to continue to stay married to him while I try to carry out this whole murder plot
Mm-hmm.
and get this money. But it comes off way more than it's just Danny, ruining her plan. It seems like she's legit jealous.
Yeah. Well, I guess I mean, I don't know how much in advance are they filming this show? Do you know? I'm not really sure. I know it's
I
more
think,
than like Bold or Y&R, like it's like three
yeah.
to four weeks.
Uh, oh no, they're like months ahead,
Okay, so they got a lot of
because I
content.
remember back in the was it back in the spring, like early summer, they were already filming like the holiday stuff.
Okay, gotcha. So you're probably more like about 4 to 5 months ahead.
Something like that. Maybe
Okay.
3 to 4.
Okay. Somebody in the chat say two. A star said 2 months.
Unless
I'm
they
not sure.
switched that up, but they were definitely more than 2 months ahead.
Okay.
At one point they were.
Okay. Gotcha. Gotcha. Gotcha.
I
Gotcha.
think Bold is like maybe 2 months ahead. I think they're like 8 weeks.
Bold is 8 weeks.
I believe so.
I thought it was less than that. I could be wrong. Yep, I thought it was less than that. Okay. All right. What did you think about Tomas? Because the remember, I know y'all was not happy about the fact that it's a possibility for to move in, and then when she decided to move in, he says, "Nope, let's not do it."
Mm-hmm.
I know you was happy about that.
Sure was. I kind of figured that it probably wasn't going to happen anyway because they were gonna have to give Tomas a set, and I didn't see them giving another character a set before Ted even has a home.
Mm-hmm.
So it makes more sense to me that they have Cat move out.
Mm-hmm. Oops. Hold on, you guys. I lost Keish for a second. Give me a second. Give me a second. Oh my goodness. Give me a second. Hold on. Hold on, you guys. Keish, can you hear me?
You there? I can hear you.
Okay, sorry about that.
Oh no, you're fine.
All right, go ahead. What are you saying now?
Um, I was just saying yes. I was happy uh that Tomas basically turned her down because I mean it was a goofy reason that she gave. Like literally just a couple of weeks ago, you were saying that you weren't ready to move in with him, but now you want to because Chelsea and Madison getting engaged. But it's like, girl, you got your own money. Go buy your own place. You don't need to move in with your boyfriend because you want to move out. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm glad that didn't go down like that.
Now, do
And I
you?
hope that they actually do go through with Kat getting her own place.
Yeah, that means that'll be interesting to see how that all works out. For her to have her own spot. What I was gonna say, because I mean, then that ends up turning into a whole back and forth between her and Chelsea. I'm trying to
Uh-oh.
figure out why she was so upset. Now I know
I
she.
didn't.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Sorry.
No, because I mean, on the flip side, I thought it was about Laura and what happened with that conversation with Leslie. But then
Mm-hmm.
she was going in on Chelsea.
Well, I felt like, to me, it felt like Chelsea got upset with her because she wanted to find her own place,
Okay.
which I didn't understand. And it's like, you're engaged now. Like, why does it not make sense for Kat to want to move out and find her own place?
Exactly.
Because
Uh,
she was like, well, nothing is changing yet. And it's like, girl, just literally a week or so ago, you were about to drop everything and move to another country.
correct.
But for whatever reason now, it's like you're upset that Kat wants to get her own place when you're engaged to somebody. Like you're about to start your life with your fiance or your wife, your soon-to-be wife. Of course, she's going to move out. That
Exactly.
argument didn't make a lick
Yeah,
of
it
sense to
didn't
me.
make sense to me because I'm thinking like, okay, why are you what is this whole thing even about? Because like you said, you were making all kind of wild decisions about, and I won't say
Mm-hmm.
wild, but
It
decisions
was
that,
impulsive.
yeah, it was impulsive. Great, that's a great word to use. It was impulsive. It was out of the blue. They just started a business, and then the moment that she get ready to move, it's like, why you doing that? Okay, well, the same reason that you was about to go all the way to Copenhagen.
Right.
So I mean, you two are cousins, but you also are grown adults. Y'all got separate relationships. I mean, y'all could still work together. That doesn't change. It's just y'all not living in the
Yeah.
same. Y'all not sharing the same space. It's different when both of y'all was single. You know what I mean?
Right.
But you
Right.
about to get married, and and then Kat is in a relationship with Tomas. So
Yeah. I don't know, that it was weird because it started out with her kind of ranting about her running with Eva and Leslie,
mm,
and then Chelsea wasn't really paying attention, and then it flipped to, and then is that when it flipped to her telling Chelsea that she was finding her own place,
right. It
and
was,
and then
yeah.
they started going back and forth about that, but Chelsea even saying, assuming that she was moving out because she's jealous of her and Madison. It was just like, how did you even come to that conclusion?
Exactly. It's not like she was single and watching y'all being a third wheel as a third wheel. She's in a whole, even though, I mean, a lot of people don't agree with their relationship, but she is in a whole another relationship,
Yeah.
so I don't know. That was a weird argument.
It seems like for whatever reason, this show has to put Kat at odds with somebody every week.
Right.
Somebody in her family every week. This is the second argument that her unnecessary argument that her and Chelsea have had.
I agree.
Because I think the last one was when she told Kat that she was going to move to Copenhagen,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know.
Yeah.
And then they swinging back around with this whole Kat versus Eva and Leslie, excuse me, situation. Is like, once again, nothing has progressed in this story.
Mm-mm.
Like, why are we bringing up Laura's accident when we know Leslie is not going to go to jail? Um, we know that Eva is not going to get in trouble for being an accomplice after the fact. What is the point of bringing this up again?
Right.
Everybody has gotten over it but Kat. So it's like they use it to continue to make Kat look like she's being irrational, while
Mm-hmm.
everybody else is okay with what happened. They even had Laura, who was a victim, sitting down, chit chatting with Eva.
Right.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, I don't want to focus on negative things like Kat, is basically what she said.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like,
Wow. Yeah, because
like,
the
this
way
show
she
is the
did it, you exactly
yeah,
right, Keish. The way that she said it was like, yeah, I'm trying to move on, unlike some other people. And I'm like, that girl was your biggest cheerleader during that whole thing.
exactly. It still is still trying to get justice for you, but apparently you don't care anymore. It's like, why is Kat continuing to care about getting justice for Laura, and Laura doesn't care? And I feel like they're doing it that way because they want to portray that Kat is holding an irrational or unnecessary grudge,
Right,
when Leslie's own victim doesn't care anymore, but Kat is still, talking about it and vowing to get, I guess, justice for
right,
somebody who doesn't care that she was attacked. And it's just, I don't know. It's like, I wish they would just drop that story, but I feel like they pull it out anytime they want to make Kat look like the irrational one
right,
for whatever reason. But yeah, it's like, I think Eva said something like, if anybody deserves to hold a grudge, it's you. And then that's when Laura said, oh, I'm trying not to focus on the negative, or she said something like, well, everybody hasn't gotten over it, or something like that. And she was like, I'm trying not to focus on the negative.
Girl, that's
Like,
crazy.
don't none of y'all deserve Cat.
Mm, yeah, I mean, yeah, she should be like, you know what? Screw it, forget about it. Then you sit and
Right.
walk around with that over your head that these two women, especially Leslie, put this in position. She
Mm-hmm.
put potassium in your bloodstream that you could have had cardiac arrest. And she tried to run you off the road because she tried to get her daughter a job. And y'all
Right.
like, well, especially Laura. Laura like, I'm not dwelling on it, unlike some other people. Okay. Well, you know
Yeah.
what? Fine.
Yeah. I'm like, free Cat of this mess. If nobody else gives a crap, then stop making Cat care. Like, let her move on, because she doesn't need this storyline to give her something to do.
It makes her look unhinged. That's the thing. Because if everybody else, like we saw the conversation, which is the photo third down on the left, where Ted and Nicole are talking about it. Like, yeah, our
Mm-hmm.
daughter is at it again, that type of thing. So it's like, okay, you know what? Move her along.
And not only that, I mean, they again had Nicole defending Eva. Like, oh, this wasn't Eva's fault. This was all Leslie, blah, blah, blah. And that may be so. Like, yeah, Eva didn't know that Leslie did that to her until after the fact. But she knows now, and
Right.
she's covering it up.
Yep. I agree. I agree. We also had Jacob on the cover and Naomi missing her husband. I don't know. Are you interested in that storyline to see where that goes or
This is the first time we see Naomi be this concerned about Jacob.
exactly? I mean, I honestly think that she might be pregnant, and the reason, they had before he went back into undercover on his assignment. They had this big old love making session, and I'm like, did you take your medicine? Because, she keeping that BRCA thing quiet, which she snapped at Ashley about this week. She was like, why don't you mind your
Mm-hmm.
business? She's like, hold
Yeah.
on, slow your roll, girl.
Yeah, she's getting on my nerves with that secret.
Yeah, I mean, at least tell you. If you don't want to tell nobody, talk to your mama. Both of y'all in the same boat.
Right.
If you don't want to talk to Chelsea, your dad, anybody else, you already told Ashley. Talk to your
Yeah.
mother. What can she say bad or feel pity for you? Because then there's something that y'all can connect with together, you know. But she always got to be high and mighty, I do this on my own, and I'm Miss Independent. I don't need nobody. And I'm like that lady told her, the woman that came with Smitty. It's
Mm-hmm.
like, listen, you just if you need anything to talk about, you got to talk about it. You can't be sitting on it, So
Yeah.
something is going to make her pop. I don't know if it's a baby or Jacob overhears something or somebody else overhears something. Nothing usually stays secret for long on a soap. So,
I don't think that she'll be pregnant. Like, I don't think they'll have her do. I don't think she'll do a oops like 2 times in a row, where she forgot to take her medicine the last time, because she said she was stressed out
mm-hmm,
about what was going on with Chelsea, and she has that pregnancy scare. I
mm-hmm,
can't imagine that they would have her once again forget to take her medicine after um all that arguing that her and Jacob did when they thought that she might be pregnant.
mm-hmm,
I think what might happen is Jacob is going to get hurt while he's doing this undercover thing, and
mm-hmm.
maybe that is going to be the thing that has her tell the truth about having that gene.
Gotcha. That makes sense. That makes sense. Okay. Um, the guy that Joey released because obviously he wants him to get gone, get out of town. I'm, I guess in June vouch for him. This
Mm-hmm.
isn't the end of Joey trying to figure out exactly what happened. I have a feeling he's going to get the intel on what's going on with Lynette and and Haley.
Oh yeah, he already believes that, or doesn't believe Randy.
Right.
He knows Randy is lying about his relationship to Haley.
Mm-hmm.
He ain't stupid.
What you say? He ain't what?
He ain't he ain't stupid.
No, he ain't stupid. You know. Then we also had that other storyline where Vanessa and well, her son is taking Samantha to the cotillion.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was good. And I mean, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
No, go ahead. What are you about to say?
What? I don't know. It's maybe they're rewriting it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a little weird to me because I assumed that Darnell was at least 21.
Right, he's in college. Well, he might be. I know. Okay, so Tyrell is supposed to be the oldest of the two, right? So he would be a senior.
Yes.
So
Yes, he's a senior.
he's a senior. So I'm assuming because when you go into college, you were like 18 freshman
Hmm.
year. I don't know what year is this guy.
I don't know, but I was basing it on um remember when he first came home after Doug passed away
Mm-hmm.
and they were at the casino and he had mentioned something about like he was planning to come home and have his first drink with Doug,
Mm-hmm.
his first drink of whiskey or something like that with
Oh,
Doug.
okay.
And then Joey was basically like, well, we can do that now. Um, so I assumed that because he made it a point to say his first drink,
Mm-hmm.
I assumed that it was because he just turned 21 or he was turning 21.
Oh, so that's okay because of the drinking.
And yeah, and they had that drink in the casino. And I feel like if he was under 21, that Vanessa may have mentioned something like, "Well, you're not drinking age yet," or at least made a little joke about it. But there was nothing mentioned about him being underage or anything like that. So I assumed that he was at least 21 or close to 21 because of that situation. So and I mean they can rewrite it to where maybe he's a college freshman or something like that. So he's only like 18 years old or something because Samantha's supposed to be 16. She's a
Right.
junior.
Correct. And the interesting
So
thing is,
I
it
don't
got
know.
really bad on social media, like on Facebook or whatever, because people were up in arms about that. Her being 16, and him being, an adult. And
Yeah.
you had some folks that was like, well, he's just an escort. To the cotillion. This is not her boyfriend. They're not dating. But I guess because they're in a date types and because that I mean it's a cotillion date, it became a problem. Girl, this whole thing blew up so bad that
Oh,
people,
really?
yeah, because then people decided to actually say that because the actress is 30, right? The
Yeah.
Samantha actress is 30, and the guy that plays Darnell is 20. And so they was like, oh, stop tripping because the actress is 30 and he's 20. So it went that.
It's not even, and for me, it's not even about what their real ages are. It's the
It's the
characters.
character,
The
right?
characters.
The
She's
impression.
16 and he's possibly 20 or 21. That's weird to me.
Mm-hmm.
Like even if it's just supposed to be him escorting her to the cotillion, she clearly like the way that she was talking, and it's clear that she probably has a little bit of a crush on him.
Mm-hmm.
And then I feel like like when he's got facial hair now, so I almost feel like they did that on purpose to make him appear a little bit older because he's got a mustache and a goatee. And then he called her a kid, and then he called her pigtails or something like that.
Mm.
So it's like it's almost like they want to remind us that Darnell is, significantly older than her.
Yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting dynamic because you can kind of see that she probably is going to end up crushing on this guy.
Yeah.
And her having a crush on an older man, and or could they be, could Anastasia and her daughter use this against her, but they're not in a relation. I don't know. It's just I'm wondering why they did that. You know what I mean? They couldn't
Yeah.
find anybody around her character age. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
Or why did they need to make Darnell and Deanna in their 20s? Like, why couldn't they just be 18-year-olds or
right,
even 19?
right. So
Or maybe, I don't know, maybe they are rewriting it to make them freshmen in college or something.
mm-hmm. Yep. And then like
But
Paris, go ahead.
I was going to say, but I did like when they were, excuse me, when they were at Orpheus and Francesca was in there,
Mm-hmm.
being her little snooty
Messy.
self, and Donnell, yeah, Chessie, and Donnell showed up and kind of gagged her because
Mm-hmm.
he told her that he was escorting her to the cotillion.
Right, and she was looking shy. And he actually knew her too.
Yep.
So I guess everybody know everybody in that community.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're all from Fairmont
Crest,
Crest,
yeah.
so
Yep. I agree.
I need them to cast more Belclairs though.
Oh, you need some
That
competition up in there, huh?
Yes, because for me that Leslie is not. That's not competition for the Dupris. That's her. Like
mm,
she wants to be in competition with them,
mm-hmm.
which is another thing that's hilarious to me. As much as she claims to hate them, like everything she does surrounds the Dupris.
Right.
But for them to like, they need a family on there that actually has for real history, and the Belclairs had that with them. Like, there's history there of hatred, or I think hatred is probably a strong word, but of dislike. Like, they annoy each other basically.
Mm-hmm. I gotcha.
And there's no like outrageous off the wall stuff that Anastasia has done, like Leslie did with Laura, where she,
Mm-hmm.
was literally trying to hurt her. It's just like, the basic run of the mill stuff. So yeah, I need them to add more to that family, and I would love to see more of Anastasia and Francesca, and maybe somebody that's around Kat and Chelsea's age, and another family member that's around Nicole and um, Danny's age or something,
Mm-hmm.
because they're actually entertaining to watch.
Yep. I most definitely I agree with you on that, girl. All right. Let me see what else we
And
got.
I need them to also cast Deanna,
Yeah, because they keep
because they keep
talking
talking
about
about her.
her.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I think the way that it sounds that they probably will, because she was like, "Oh, you come up soon. I want to spend time with you." And now this dating app is part of, Vanessa's escort service.
Oh yeah,
So,
that's right.
yeah, that was
You
funny.
know what? I didn't realize. So I thought this whole time, I thought Banneker was like a local university to them,
Mhm.
because that's where Isaiah works.
Mhm.
But the way that they talk about Deanna and Donnell coming home, it's almost as if they're out of state.
Right.
But if Isaiah works there, then it must be a lot like it must be local.
Yeah, I mean, I can't see him traveling like 6 hours every day to go to work.
Right.
Right. So it
But I
must be
remember, like,
something. Yeah.
around the holidays, I remember Vanessa saying something about the kids coming home, or they're staying at school, and she went and visited them like a couple of days before Thanksgiving to spend time with them.
Mhm.
And it's like, so I always assumed that they were out of state somewhere, but I just realized that they were at Banneker, and I'm like, wasn't Banneker local? Why do they act like, they live so far away from her?
Right. Yeah, make that make sense. All right, girl. Let's see what else we got. I think.
Oh, Derek agreed to work for
Oh yeah, work for
Leslie's clinic.
yeah, under Eva only.
Hmm.
I'm wondering how that's all gonna work out.
I don't know. It's funny to me that these two people that have zero experience in the medical field. I don't care that Eva has been working for Ted for what, I don't know, 7 months or so, running
Mm-hmm.
his, being the office manager basically. And
Right.
suddenly the two of these people know how to open
A
a free
clinic.
clinic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Obviously, it's something that they had to put together to make it work.
Yeah.
So, yep. Did we cover everything now?
Um, we talked about Jacob, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Jacob, Chelsea and Kat's argument. I think Danny and Andre only had that scene today or yesterday with Leslie, didn't they?
Right.
I don't think they were on any other time this week.
Right. I don't remember seeing Shanice this week either.
She was on because her and Ashley, I think it was Monday.
Oh
Because
yeah, when
remember, it was
she
Ashley's 1 year anniversary of working at the hospital.
yeah, and it was also Beyond the Gates 1 year anniversary on February 24th.
Yep, yep.
So
A whole year.
a whole year has come. I remember everybody being so excited about it coming on. We were talking about this way back in early 2024 when it had been announced that we're getting a new soap. And now we're here
Mm-hmm.
2 years later and we've completed 1 year of episodes. So
Yeah.
that was cool.
Remember how excited we were when it was first announced, and remember we were all putting our little dream lists
Right,
together of who we wanted to
exactly.
be in the cast, and so
Mm-hmm.
much fun.
Yep, that was cool. All right, I can't think of anything else that we missed.
Me neither.
No? Okay.
Yeah, we did talk. We talked about Anita's storyline, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Her doing that interview with Gail.
Yep. I will say I think that obviously we've seen multiple other shows with because who was that? Sharon, she had a breast cancer storyline.
Mm-hmm.
I know there had to be other breast cancer storylines. I'm just trying to remember them right now. But, we had Stephanie Forrester with the lung cancer situation.
Mm,
We had, what's her name? Nikki Newman when they was talking about MS. Do she even still have MS? I never hear them bring
yeah,
that up about Nikki.
yeah. She still has it. I guess it's just not something they
Yeah, they never talk about
consistently
it.
talk about.
Yeah, you know. So, but it
I
does.
will.
Hmm.
Oh, sorry.
No,
I
I
was
was gonna
just
say.
gonna say I will. Sorry.
Go ahead, girl.
I was just gonna say I will continue to praise them on how they've written Anita's
Yeah,
cancer storyline. Like, I love that they had that interview with Gail, and the information that they keep putting out, and I don't know, they've just taken really good care of that whole storyline.
yeah, I agree with you. And they taking it step by step. Her going to
Mm-hmm.
chemo, getting pumps put in, cutting her hair, the episodes of this physical episodes that she's having. So they're definitely
Yeah.
playing it through.
Yes, they are. They're not rushing it.
Right,
They're not. They're not. I don't want to say dragging it out, but it's like they're pacing it well. Like,
right,
they're not, it's not every single day that they're talking about it, but they're putting it in there enough to where we know that they just haven't dropped the
right.
storyline and have just forgotten about it, and everything is playing in the background.
Exactly. Exactly. All right, girl, let's get to our final segments.
Oh, wait.
What you got?
So Crystal said even thinking back to her and Leslie going after Laura, and then Isaiah saying no secrets.
Well, that's a secret. That's a big one.
Yeah. So when Kat was leaving Orphe Jeans and she was and Isaiah was coming in and she said something about how I warned you and I don't want to hear it when this blows up in your face. And then they had Eva thinking back to like her grilling Leslie about what she did to Laura. So I felt like that was definitely a anvil of that's maybe that's why they're bringing Laura's accident back around again, because that's going to end up coming out,
Mm-hmm.
and it's going to affect her relationship with Isaiah.
Yeah. Yeah, because that's a big old secret right there.
Mm-hmm.
And then they had Kat on the way out saying, you don't how did she tell him? I tell you it's gonna blow up in you one of these days it's gonna blow up in your face or something, she said.
Yep.
Yep. So that could be a preliminary prelude to something where that secret
Yeah.
comes out and it'll definitely affect their relationship.
Yep.
Yep. Okay. Now, are we sure you got anything else that we missing?
Nope.
Okay.
That's it.
All right. All right. So now we got our flip the script, who taking several seeds, star of the week, pickle of the week, and the Simp Olympics and Lily Winters Award. So for YNR, what you flipping?
Mm. My flip would have been Sienna staying in California because she was on this week, right? Or am I
Yeah.
imagining things?
She
Yeah.
surprised the moment that looked like Matt Clark got out of prison or whatever, then she shows up. And sometime I was thinking like, I wonder if those they could make it where those two work
Working
together and
together.
get rid of both of them.
It's
Even
possible.
though I do like the actor that plays Matt Clark because he's funny.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He was hilarious.
Yeah.
Um.
Um. If I was the I just need the Newmans to take this L for a little bit longer.
Yeah. They deserve a good year of
Exactly.
fighting for their lives, at least.
I mean, let them sit in this for a while. They had no problem acquiring or trying to take over other people's companies. You ain't thinking about nobody's employees or anybody,
Yeah.
when you're doing it to somebody else. So, you know what? I need you to hold this one for a minute.
Yep.
All right, what you flipping on bold?
Um. On bold, I'd say. Mm,
Oh,
I would have just had Will stand 10 toes down on allowing Dylan to stay at his place
got you.
instead of folding to Electra to keep his girlfriend. Like you're talking about you are talking about sending someone back out on the streets because you're insecure.
I mean, the other thing is, Electra was the one that put her there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you want her, you the one said, "Hey, you need a place to stay. Stay at Will's place." You put her there.
Right.
Okay, now you want her to leave, but then you don't have any other place to put her.
Yeah. I mean, not that it's her
It's
responsibility to find her
not, but I
somewhere,
mean, she
but
took she took the first responsibility by putting a woman in her boyfriend's house.
and you have the means to help her,
Exactly.
and she's your friend, and she literally hasn't done anything wrong. The dancing was goofy,
Mm-hmm.
yes, but to me that's not enough to send someone back out to the street.
Yeah, I got you. Bree got some flips in the chat. She said, "Why in our Lauren accepts Phyllis's job offer just to punish Michael for crying about Victor." That's a
That's a
good
good
one.
one.
And then for Bold, she says, "I'm flipping the channel to a show with better writing." Oof.
Also a good one.
Yeah, I know, right? All right, did you do your bowl flip? Oh yeah, you did.
Hmm.
So mine is that stupid letter. None of that makes sense. That it just don't make sense when you could have talked to that dude in the other room. And then when y'all get on the phone with each other, nobody talked about the kiss or why the necklace was there or what did you read my letter. Y'all just got on the phone, tiptoe around each other only to let her know that Dylan was still there.
Yeah.
That whole thing was crazy to me.
Yeah, it was goofy.
So I mean, yeah, I'm like, y'all need to get rid of that. All right, what you flipping on BTG?
um, I would have had Danny knock the holy crap out of Leslie when she walked up in her house after she told her to go away.
Yeah, the
I
door
still
was
can't believe
left
that happened.
unlocked and she just walked right in. That's crazy.
Yeah,
And
yeah, that blew my mind. And they
mhm,
stood there and let her talk once again. I'm so
mhm,
tired of people just standing there letting Leslie talk. But yeah, that would have been my flip for that.
yep. Um, I mean, even though Kat did give it back to Chelsea, but it's like you don't have no say so on what I'm doing if I don't have any say so on what you gonna do with your relationship in your life. Period.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can jump off and go on over there, which she did allude to that in that conversation, but it's like I think you need to tone it down a little bit because why are you all upset when I want to do what I want to do?
Yeah.
And it's not like they breaking up their cousin's hood. It's just the fact that y'all got two separate lives now. You got a whole wife about to come in there. Y'all about to make a life together. It's time for us to.
Right.
We're not two single ladies living in the same house. So, and it's good that she did not at this time, move in with Tomas, but she get her own spot.
Yeah.
So, Bree says,
I'm gonna add one more. Oh, sorry.
no, I was gonna say Bree said her flip on BTG is that she wanted Isaiah to overhear the conversation between Eva and Leslie regarding Laura. That's a good one. Now, what are you about to say,
They had a
Keith?
conversation about Laura. Oh yeah, I guess they did have a conversation about Laura. Right?
Right
Was
before
it
he
after
walked
Laura
in.
left?
I think it was right before he walked in. Laura had left
Um.
already.
Oh, Cat Eva and okay, when Cat Eva and Leslie were arguing. Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what I don't get about that is literally everybody knows that Leslie is a suspect. So I don't. I guess I don't understand. I don't know what new information would Isaiah be finding out. Is it just that he? I guess maybe he just doesn't believe that
Yeah, I
Leslie and
don't
Eva
know.
are aware. Yeah.
Maybe he don't know
Um.
how bad it is because I mean, right now he just think it's the two of them squabbling.
Yeah. Maybe.
He don't know the severity of. I mean, he knows about the cheating situation with Ted, but you know, yeah, the rest of that when that comes out, that's definitely going to be a problem.
Yeah.
All right.
I was
Mm-hmm.
gonna. The other flip I was gonna add was not having Laura act all buddy buddy with Eva.
Yeah.
Like if there was one person, I mean, Lord forbid Kat's own mother be on her side, but if there was one other person that they could have at least made an ally to Kat in this situation, it should have been Laura of all people,
Right.
who almost lost her life twice.
Yep.
But of course, they couldn't even give Kat that.
Nope. I agree. All right. Seats. Y&R.
Mm, I'd I'd say Sally only because I need her to make up her mind.
Mm-hmm.
With like, why are you? I I agree with Audra. Whereas, why are you going to dinner with him again? Like, what do you mean this is a, I think she said she was doing it to close out their relationship or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, girl, make up your mind on what you want to do. I give her a seat. I'll give Kane a seat because it's another week of him not calling the police on Victor. Um, I'm gonna give Victoria a seat because she lied to Nate. I don't know if that was last week or this
No,
week.
that was this week.
Yeah, she lied to Nate about um not knowing anything about what was going on with Lily.
Mm-hmm.
Who else needs a seat this week? So I feel like there's plenty to give out on Y&R.
It says a ton of
Um,
seats to give out.
those are the only ones I can think of right now.
Well, I'm giving Sally a seat because of the whole thing with pick a struggle. Either you're gonna be mad at Billy and not take nothing, or you just gonna go along and work alongside this man. It's like you what are you mad at? Except the fact
Yeah,
that you can't control him and he wanted to do something for himself and you want him to do it your way. Well, you, you can't have it where I'm gonna do it my way. I want you to do it my way, and if you don't, then I got a problem with you. No,
right.
that ain't gonna work. So yeah, Sally needs to take several seats on that one. I
Yeah.
couldn't with that one. Mm-mm.
Was it this week when Noah was arguing with
That
Kyle and Audra?
oh yeah, that was this week. That was on the same day as the Chelsea and Sally conversation.
Yeah, Noah can take a seat
Yes, he can. He's
because
girl.
because for me, like, yes, you're always, of course, gonna be ride or die for your family, but to sit there to Kyle specifically and try to make him feel bad about what your family is going through when your grandfather literally was doing that to his family, like, you can keep that.
Right. And then he tried to talk about how can you do this to Harrison. And it's like Harrison gonna be just fine. He's an Abbott.
Right.
So cut it out. And then cause he was so him and Audra, I thought it was some chemistry there. And then Kyle showed up, and then they kind of got cool with each other, and then it just went left. And Noah was like, "Why did I ever think this would be any different?" I'm like, "Dude, if you don't get out of here."
Yeah, I'm still hoping that they circle Audra and Noah back around to each other.
Yeah, cause them two, they definitely got chemistry over Sienna. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Bree said Isaiah asked Eva flat out if they had any secrets, and she danced around the question. Yeah, we did talk about that. She sure did. And then she said her Y&R seats are Victoria, Nate, and Devon.
Mm.
Devon. I'm curious about that one. I probably because he jumped up in Kane's face about that because he did was like, something happened to my family, and Kane was like, hold on, them kids came from me too.
Right.
He acting like that Kane is just some accessory to this whole situation. Like that's his son and daughter too.
Yeah.
So all right. Seats on bold.
Brooke definitely
Oh my God, yes, Brooke.
gets a seat.
Ivy. Ivy can take a proper seat.
Ivy and RJ,
Mm-hmm.
because RJ was doing too much.
Mm-hmm.
Will and Electra, just because, like you were saying earlier, their communication sucks. A lot of unnecessary things happened that didn't need to if they had just opened their mouths and actually talked to each other. I think that's it for this week
Mm-hmm.
for me.
And then Bree says bold seats Ivy and Electra, bitter auntie and her gullible niece. She's she definitely giving bitter auntie. Um,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and then I'm gonna give Eric a seat because it's like, dude, all this only for you to go back over there. Go on over there and take your seat at Forrester and stay there. You know. So, all right, seats on BTG.
I'm gonna give Leslie a seat
Mm-hmm.
for when what she said to Kat today about how something about if Nicole had loosened up, then maybe her father wouldn't have had to come around and basically I forget how exactly she worded, but
Well, what it
play
was
with.
is that because Leslie was teasing about now about her mom having this whole spicy side to herself dealing with the two dudes, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she was like,
Yeah,
well, maybe if she had used that side of her when they were together, he wouldn't have been coming to her. I was
yeah,
like,
but it
oh
was just the
Lord.
way that she phrased it. She said something about um something about her being a pussy cat and him coming
Right.
around playing with her or something like that. And it's just like,
Exactly.
Lord have mercy, you just said that to the man's child. Like,
Exactly. That was
how
crazy.
much more? Yeah, she gets a seat for that.
Hmm.
Nicole gets a seat for once again defending Eva to her daughter. Laura also can get a seat because she's an idiot. Um, who else gets a seat this week? I'm gonna give. Mm, no, you know what? I'm gonna give Danny and Andre a seat for allowing that woman to walk up in their house and they just stood there and let her talk and ramble.
Hmm.
She shouldn't have been in there for more than 2 seconds because they should have been
Mm-mm.
shoving her right back out that door.
Yep. I'm gonna give Haley a seat for believing that Lynette was her friend. It was
That's a
like,
good one.
girl, you know you the bit one of the biggest cons out there, and you gonna let another person con you because you think she your friend. Okay.
Right.
Randy tried to
Naomi can,
tell you, and you ain't listening.
yeah.
All right.
Naomi can have a seat too.
Yeah.
When you are in a scene with Ashley and you are still the most annoying person, it's an issue. Because
Hmm.
normally Ashley gets on my nerves because she's whining about something.
Right.
But Ashley actually was, she was the rational, logical, non annoying individual in their scene today. Or yesterday, whenever that was, a couple of
Hmm.
days ago.
Yep. Let's see. Seats for me. I am. I'm trying to think. Who would I give a seat over there? I did say Haley. I think. Oh, Chelsea for being mad for Kat wanting to do what she
Oh,
want to
yeah.
do. It's like, girl, if you don't be quiet, you've been moving all types of ways, and then when she want to do something, you got a problem with it.
But you know what? I will give Kat a seat for asking to move into Tomas's place.
Oh, okay.
Like, no, girl,
Like,
you need
mm-mm.
to run the opposite direction from that man.
Right.
You do not need to be trying to move in with him.
Yep. All right. Star of the week, Y&R.
Mm, I'm. Gonna, I think I'm gonna give it to Josh Morrow just for his random
Yeah, I was gonna
outburst from
say
his
that too.
addiction.
Yeah. Yeah, I was gonna say that too. He's an awesome actor. I think this might be something to give him an Emmy. Bree said Leslie had a lot of nerve to talk about Nicole dating single men. Meanwhile, Leslie was just crying because the married man she had been sleeping with chose to spend time with his wife and not her. Yep.
Exactly, Bree. But she over here trying to slut shame somebody.
So yeah, she is crazy. Um, yeah, I was gonna agree with you with the start of the week with
Josh Morrow.
with Josh Morrow. Yep. All right, star of the week, bold.
I'm actually going to give it to Crew Morrow.
Okay,
I
his
I
son,
liked,
like father,
yeah,
like son.
yep. I thought he did really good. He is actually his acting has improved a lot since he first joined. So I know people always talk about how different of a beast soap acting is compared to like doing movies or even like um other different types of series.
Mhm.
And I don't know what it was this week, but I actually the last couple of weeks I've noticed like how much different his acting has been.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought he did really good this week when who was it that he got mad about? It wasn't the kiss. It was something else that he was kind of upset about, or
Mm-hmm.
kind of like raise his voice about. I think it was when he was talking to Electra, trying to convince her to give them another chance or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that was last week. I don't know. Just like, oh, I saw a little bit of his dad in him.
I see a lot of mannerisms that I'm like, yeah, he definitely has got his father in him.
Yeah.
Yep. Um, my start of week, I guess because she annoys me so much, is Ashley Brewer. I mean, yeah, they're giving her something to do, but she getting on my nerves, which means
Yeah.
that she's doing her job.
It's not proper.
It's not proper.
It's just not proper.
And
No, that's so
then
funny.
who's your star of the week on BTG?
Mm. I'm gonna give it to Chessie, the actress that plays Francesca Belclair.
Oh, okay. I got you. I'm gonna give it to both Tamara Tooney and Gail.
Oh, that's
Um,
a good one.
yeah, because I like the fact they brought awareness to it. So they did the actual scene, and then they did a after. I think the show ended Wednesday when she was on
Mm.
the show or whatever. They talked about awareness, and February is one of two awareness months in the year when it comes to breast cancer. February and October.
I didn't know February was one.
Yeah, so that's one of them, and you will really see it in sports because the women's basketball and some of the men's teams, they all wear
Mm-hmm.
pink uniforms. And you might even see it in the NBA.
Interesting.
Some of them wear pink sneakers in February.
Okay.
Yep.
I knew the October one, because I remember like the football teams will wear
Mm-hmm.
jerseys or like pink sneakers or something like that. But
Yep.
yeah, it's cool. I didn't realize February was one too.
Yep. And I remember it vividly because when my oldest played basketball in high school and in college, every February they would wear pink uniforms.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. All right. Bree says YNR star Josh Morrow, Bold star John McCook, BTG
Mm-hmm.
Kobe Muhammad, aka Cat. Yeah,
All
and
good
yeah, because we
picks.
didn't even do our BTG stars. What you got on that
We
one?
did. I thought we did. Because I
Oh,
said the actress that plays
oh
Francesca,
yeah, I didn't do
and you
mine.
said Tamara.
And I said Tam. Okay, yeah. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
All right. Pickle of the week, YNR.
All this convoluted mess with these
But
business
the businesses.
storylines. It's going to continue to be a pickle until they wrap this crap up.
Yeah, my pickle of the week is this whole Matt Clark storyline. It's like y'all either put this man away for good or what. I mean, how did he got out on some stupid technicality
That's what I meant to ask you.
with a history that he has?
So he didn't escape. He was let out of jail.
Yeah, he was let out of jail on a technicality because the officer, that Annie chick, was compromised, and so they were able to get it thrown out.
So why does he think he can blackmail them, or not blackmail, but ask for money? Like, why don't they just call the police on him again and say, "Hey, he's harassing us.
Because they
He's
know that
basically telling us we need to pay him."
the Newmans are too egotistical to do that. He knows that. That's why um, Nick was like, I already paid him $1 million the first time. So normally when you start paying people like Ted was paying at Leslie all those years, they keep coming back. And you would think
Mm.
that you would do something to say, hey, I got to end this. But Nicholas is in his mind thinking he's going to try to unalive this guy this time. Cause they want to get 5 million. He want $5 million now.
This is goofy.
Yep, it sure is. This is
It
goofy.
makes no sense.
No, not at all. So, yep. Um, yeah, my pickle is the whole, like I said, the whole situation with, that girl. I'm just over it. All right, what's your
Mm.
pickle for bold?
Um, that stupid, that stupid note
I
that
know,
Electra
right?
left Will.
Yeah,
That was so dumb.
that whole thing, that whole string of events, the note, the neck chain, the phone call, the kiss.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, okay, a whole bunch of misunderstandings and lack of communication. That's what it come down to. All
Mm.
right, and then BTG pickle.
Leslie flying around the show like a little gnat,
Mm-hmm.
just just free roaming, barging into people's houses, inviting herself to sit down at people's tables, demanding things from people when she has no right to demand anything from anybody. Just also, a big pickle for me is the fact that Kat has zero support.
Mm-hmm.
Not from her parents, not from her cousin, not from her friend. Literally nobody supports that girl in anything.
Yeah.
Everything turns into an argument. Anything that she does is dissected by everybody. Like she's not allowed to dislike Eva. She's not allowed to dislike Leslie. Um, she can't. She can't even move out of the house without it being an argument from somebody, and somebody, Chelsea accusing her of being jealous. Like, what is it that Kat can do that will not make anybody mad?
Yeah, that's a good
Like I,
question.
I don't understand.
Yeah, that's a good question, girl. Yeah, tell me about it. Um, I guess yeah, that my pickle is the whole thing with Laura because I mean that girl Kat has been trying her best to stand up for you over this past year, only for you to say, I'm not gonna be mad like some other people. Okay.
Yeah.
And Bree said her Y&R pickle is Kane and the two peanuts rolling around in his head. That girl crazy. She said bold pickle is Brooke's ego and her audacity and all the people who fed her ego for years. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
we were saying that earlier.
And Eric was the main um what do you call him? Or
Enabler.
not before? And yeah, the main enabler of Brooke.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Um, yeah, because I'm telling you, that ego was so big. She wasn't listening to nobody but the words in her own mind.
Mm-hmm.
And then Bree said BTG pickle is Naomi's hypocrisy.
That's a good one.
Yeah, she is a hypocrite. All right. Simp Olympics. You normally don't like doing that one.
Yeah, because I can never.
Pick one.
Yeah, I think my idea of a simp is different from you guys, and
Okay.
I don't think I have. I don't think I have one
I'm trying to
for
look
line, at
through
least
this
for
one
YNR.
here. I'm gonna give RJ one because it's like you just go up kiss somebody because you want to, like you said, he is super thirsty.
Yeah, RJ is just being a bird in general.
Right. I'm like, man. So at least if I had to pick somebody, I had to. give it to him. And Bill, I might give Billy a side eye as well because this girl is just, she's playing you. And you just, oh my God, just have dinner with me. I want to get back on track. You gave her a whole company for Valentine's Day, and it's still not enough.
Yeah.
So it's like, why are you still dragging this on with this girl? She's mad because you won't do it her way.
Yeah. I mean, as annoying as Sally is, or as much of a hypocrite as she's being with this whole thing, I don't know that I would necessarily call him a simp because I feel like he's just attempting to fight for his relationship.
I guess. I
Um,
mean, it's not like the
but
man cheated. I mean, Adam cheated on her, and I can understand that.
yeah,
This man just want to run two separate businesses with you, and you making it a whole problem.
yeah,
And he's still trying. She to me is very she being very disrespectful when it comes to that because why are you mad at this man? But yet take two of the companies and change the name. You took Abbott off of there. He gave you Newman Media, and then you merged it into that as well. And then you still talking about you chose Chancellor over me. No, you chose those companies over him.
yeah. I thought it was funny that she changed the name though. I
I
ain't gonna
know,
lie.
right? That was crazy. Spectra Media. Let's see. I mean, Spectra Charles Media. Let's see how long that lasts because at some point they're going to come for Newman Media. They're not just gonna let
Yeah,
you roll that into Abbott Communications and you just gonna keep walking.
yeah. Victor gonna yank that
Oh,
right back from her. I
if
think
he
it's
don't
gonna end
take
up
her
being
company too.
yeah. I well, that's what I think is gonna happen. I think it's gonna end up being a situation where um he like he gets his company back and then she's gonna be punished by that company being snatched away from her
Mm-hmm.
in one way or another.
Yep, I agree. And then Lily Winters Award girl, the audacity. I know. Go ahead,
Brooke.
Brooke. I know Brooke.
Mm-hmm.
Brookie, most definitely. And I'm gonna throw Chelsea in there too, cause I'm like, girl, you need to stop
I'm gonna add Leslie to it
it.
because she
Yep.
got a lot of audacity.
Mm-hmm. So Bree got her Simp Olympics in there. She says bronze RJ, silver Billy, gold Nate, and platinum Dummy Kane. Yes, girl. I get. I'm. I guess she saw the Billy thing in there too. Nate. Yeah, Nate is. That girl is lying to you because he did kiss Victoria this week.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. Nate is just I pictured I feel like Nate is just being stupid. I'm not sure I can call him a simp because he's not really getting anything out of this,
Mm-hmm.
and he's not trying to gain anything. He's
Mm-hmm.
just being dumb
He just being.
because he
Let's say
he
he's just
believes
being
that
dumb.
yeah he's believing that Victoria is going to be honest with him over protecting her family.
Nope.
Like, did you not learn from the last time?
He
From the
sure
last
didn't.
couple of times, because I mean, this happened when he was dating Abby too.
Right. Yep. All right, girl. It was a good one. I appreciate you. Are you gonna be on next week too, or no?
I should be.
Okay, cool. Cool, cool, cool.
Yep.
All right, you guys, we're going to let you go. Have an amazing weekend. And I'm going to try to see if I can do like last weekend and get you guys some spoilers out for the week of March 2nd through the 6th. And other than that, unless you got anything else, Keish, we're going to end it right here.
No, I don't have anything additional.
All right, so have a great day. Bye, Soapies.
Good night, everybody.